As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time with Jeff Booner, Lukas, and Gentry. It is Thursday, September 19th. And we're back.
There we go.
Hey, yesterday, absolutely electric. I would be remiss if I didn't get a checkup on Boone day after. Yeah, hey, Boone, how you doing? How you feeling after the 12-round boxing match with the top?
I feel great. It's one of those things too, by the way. Like, I thought it was a great conversation. A lot of people who were not on my side with this whole situation, they just had the whole argument wrong. I had a lot of people in my mentions being like Booner, you don't go at Jared Goff enough for having a bad game. That was never the argument last night with the doc. I think I've made it very, very clear Jared Goff has been extremely bad the last 2 weeks. And the mentions that I had literally were, Booner, you're wrong because you won't go at Jared Goff. Well, you're automatically wrong because that wasn't the argument. I went at Jared Goff Monday and Tuesday this week on the show, said how bad he was, about how he needs to bounce back. The whole situation yesterday with Doc, and I talked to Doc also earlier today. He doesn't like the fact that he thinks I shouldn't be able to tell people how to feel. So it has nothing to even do with football. It's like a personal thing, I guess. Like, I just said, Booner, you shouldn't tell people how they should feel. So that's the ridiculous part of it. It has nothing to do with Jared Goff or actually football. It's just, hey, don't tell fans how they should feel. So in radio, guess what, guys? We're not allowed to voice our opinions and tell people how we feel and how they should feel. So
yeah, well,
hey,
and to be fair, you don't tell people how to feel. You're more of like the voice
pitching my side to them.
Yeah, it's not like you're like, calm down or else, feel better or else. Like, you're not like, forcing positivity. You just say,
yeah, like if you don't, you can't watch our show. No, you can not be calm, but I'm going to sit up here and tell you should be calm because everything's going to be all right. And like that's it. Like, it's not rocket science. This was a pretty simple conversation here. We just had a couple drinks were inhaled, a couple things were going on.
It wasn't real American beer.
Not
Doc.
real American beer either.
Come on, yeah. There you go. I mean, come on, drinking that piss water. I mean, yeah, get some real American beer, Doc. He'll be all right.
I mean, sometimes some people need to step back and listen to what's going on before they keep going. Shout out to Doc, though. I do love the Doc.
Shout out.
Yeah, well, no show is gonna be hard to top that ever. I mean, it just will. But got a lot to get to today. We're gonna have Raj on in the second hour. Shout out Raj, doing a great job covering the Tigers. He'll walk us through what has transpired with the Tigers and just how close they are. I mean, we talked about this one
weeks ago. Not rocking it though.
Weeks ago, and how they were, what was it, like a 5% chance to make the postseason, and now they're half a game out at this point.
Dude, I got them at plus 475 the other day.
It's unbelievable. It's a gritty.
Yeah, what are they at now, Boone?
Like plus 110 or something like that. Like, it's drastically moved. It's insane. I can double check. Let me double check the price, but like I got them real low at plus 475. That was crazy.
Oh, you bet on it and everything.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I had a couple bucks in my account left, and I said, why not just throw those couple bucks on there?
That's.
I think I had like a bonus bet. I'm gonna put this bonus bet on there.
Why didn't you put it on Hutch?
You have a rave going on in the background right now?
What do I have?
Oh, I figured right when I said something. No, ignore what I just said. Looked like there's a rave going on in the background of your fucking house right there.
My other TV in the other room.
Yeah. See, there it is again. There it is.
No, you definitely got a rave back there going on.
The diddler party. You got a diddler party going on? You got a freak fest going on back there?
Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, back to the Tigers. What a transition.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fucking yeah, Raj will be joining the show, man. Can't wait to talk to him. We'll talk some Red Wings. Mo Saida and Lucas Raymond, both locked up. Both locked up. We'll get Mr. Gentry's opinion on that, his expertise. That'll all be in the second hour. But fellas, I saw this today, and this made me feel a lot better heading into the weekend. I'm not going to lie to you. All the injuries that have transpired. And Adam Schefter put this out. Look at what seriously, the 49ers and Rams game, which I'm sure people paid for tickets already that are attending. The game will likely be without Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Steve Avila, I think is the actual pronunciation, Jonah Jackson, amongst others, in week 3.
It's crazy.
It's like half the 11 men on each side. I mean, half of them are gone. So,
hey, gotta find a way to still win football games. Don't make excuses.
You're right.
And though, should be asking for a refund.
Yeah,
like, off the next game you go to or something.
Restart the season or send to the end, one of the two.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, though, Jeff, like this situation, like you had the Rams winning that division. This is a good opportunity. I know the Rams lost to the Cardinals and they're 0-2. Good opportunity for them to say, all right, let's try and go steal one here versus the 49ers.
they got nothing.
Stafford and what army?
I mean, I don't know, but you're in the NFL. Like they're not going to have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo, or George Kittle potentially. Like what army do they have? So like you go steal one here, even if they're down. All right, you're down. All right, find a way to get one done because if you win, you're both 1-2, and that's the team that's probably going to compete for the number 1 seed in that conference or in that division. So like. That makes it to where you're like, even though you started 0-2, you're right back in the division race, and you already have a 1-up on the 49ers because you beat them. Like this is a big time game for the Rams, big time.
It is a big time game, but the only problem I have with that is their whole defense. None of those names are on that list right there. So Matthew Stafford without Puka Nacua, without Cooper Kupp is going to be battling still one of the best defenses in the league. And they still have Ayuk, they still have Jennings, Lucas's boy, they still got Jordan Mason running wild. So I don't know.
It's going to be like a 1-possession game. The Rams are going to have a chance.
I
hope so. I hope it's close, and I hope the Rams somehow pull it out, but I wouldn't be too confident in that, especially
what's
after
kind of
last
crazy,
game.
boys? Like the fact that because obviously these players are going to take a while to come back. They're all not going to come back simultaneously. Seahawks are 2-0, and this weekend they play the Miami Dolphins without Tua. Then they come to Detroit, so hopefully that's an L. Then they go and they're home against the Giants. Niners will probably be healthier. Then the Falcons, then the Bills, and the Rams again. Niners again, but then they have the Cardinals, Jets, Cardinals, Packers, Vikings. So the back half of the schedule is kind of iffy. Like it's not the easiest schedule in the world, but they have 2-0. They're probably going to go 3-0. They're probably looking at a 4-1 start. I think the Seahawks, they definitely have a legitimate chance. Look how that defense has been playing. But I want to see how because I'm trying to think, they beat the Broncos and the Patriots, I believe. Yep. So they haven't played anybody impressive. But just to what Booner's point is with this division, everybody being down, be interesting to see how that ends up in the back half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, who's the rookie they got for the Rams, the wide receiver, like Jordan Winnington?
Yeah, Jordan Winnington.
Yeah, you're gonna need him to be. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, DeMarcus Robinson, wide receiver 1. Ooh.
But yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Hey, good luck. I picked up the tight end. I picked up Parker, whatever the hell his name is. But I don't know who he is. But
he's gonna have Fred Warner glued to him. So good luck.
Yeah, we'll roll with him. Stafford's throwing him the ball. But that's I guess the more positive thing. Looking around the amount of injuries they have in the NFL, the Lions, they suffered an injury last week. Alex Anzalone was out. Now he's returned. He was at practice today. Anzalone.
Finally. Thank God.
Hey, this is where it's still, speaking of Booner and positivity, why you should be optimistic. This is a good reason, at least for the guys that are coming back, the guys that practice today. Anzalone, limited practice. Now, no practice for Terran Arnold. Ennis Rakestraw doesn't really play anyway. But Davenport, full practice. So, and even Amon-Ra St. Brown, who had the bruise.
Kirby went from limited to full. Like, that's big.
Yeah, the Terrion thing I'm not worried about. He's probably sitting out because he has the hand thing.
Yeah,
so
no, Terrion's sick, I think. I don't think it's the hand thing.
Illness.
It's illness there. Yeah, so the Terrion thing's fine. I think AG today, they were asking him about Terrion in the matchup with Marvin Harrison, and like he was talking like he's going to be playing. So like I just think he's out from some sort of sickness. I don't think it even has to do with his hand. Pretty sure his hand's all good.
then yeah, they're fine. Alex Anzalone will be back. I know we broke down Jack Campbell last week. I guess I should have known better. Alex Anzalone, no way in hell. That dude's heritage. He's an Italian. He's playing. He doesn't matter. He might be. I don't know the extent of the concussion, but he's fighting through adversity.
He got hit. He got hit pretty tough. Like that hit was tough to where it's like, how is he playing right now? Like there is the concussion protocol, but there is this part a little bit so where you're like, how much does the concussion protocol really work? Because Anzo probably shouldn't be back. I'm not complaining though. Shout out Anzo. Like, don't shout CTE out, but shout out Anzo. But he's a dog for wanting to play. Like for him to be able to turn this around after that hit and say, I'm going Sunday. Like he does not miss games. He missed, I think, one game last year, the Saints game, when he had that injury, and he was, I'm getting back somehow, some way. So if we have Alex Anzalone, if he ends up playing Sunday, this might be a lock. This might be a lock.
Hey,
if you could stop, if you have Anzo to stop Kyler Murray, Trey McBride, it's over. They're not going to win this game.
Another person, Davenport, missed last week, and then we're gonna need to be getting to the quarterback. So this is why you got a guy like him, why you brought him in. So
bubble wrap.
We're gonna need someone to make some noise outside of Hutch. So
I have something with Davenport. If Marcus Davenport, and I'm just gonna say it now, Klotzy, if he plays in 9 games this season, I'm happy. I've come to a realization. If he just gives us 9 really good games, and I get to pick the games too, like the Cowboys, the 49ers, like if he just makes sure, sit out the other games, but make sure you're ready for these bigger games, every divisional game and those big games, Thanksgiving, all those, you play in all of those and you sit out the rest, and then playoffs, you're a full go. I'm in on that. Like if he ends up every other week, ended up being out, like next week versus Seahawks, I would love to beat the Seahawks. But if we get this win here and we need him out so then he's good for Dallas, I'm all in on that. Like I'm fine for it. If that's what it takes for a guy like him to be on the field.
Load management like he's LeBron, where he's just every 2 games he needs a break. He can't be playing. It's just catching up to him. The game's just too much at this point in his career. But hey, playoffs, he's great to have healthy. Might not single-handedly be able to take you to a championship, but he's damn good. So
he'll give you. He's a piece.
I like it, Boone.
He's all about the LeBron load management.
Yeah, well, okay. Marcus Davenport doesn't sniff the caliber, the stratosphere. The other name, the guy just named.
That's a subjective statement.
What is Davenport? What is he, guys? Is he what 20?
28.
I think he's like 28, 29. Yeah.
Dude, I mean. Yeah, he'll be all right.
Dude, he's gonna every time he plays, when that
just
defensive
make it
line,
to the playoffs.
Yeah, when this defensive line's fully together, you have all 4 or 5 of those guys, counting Levi as the 5th guy. If they're healthy and you're going, that's the best, one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Yeah. Like right up there. And that's not an exaggeration. Like if you would have told me a year ago, hey, Levi, Marcus Davenport, Aleem, and then you bring DJ Reader, like you're gonna have a top 5 defensive line in a year. For as much as I was going at the defensive line last season, I would have been like, give him to me. Let's go. I need that. Because that was like the only thing that I hated last season was how bad that defensive line was outside of Hutch and Aleem. It was the worst thing of all time watching them play defense. The worst.
So why are you okay with their other edge playing 9 games?
Because they're actually good this year. Like the defensive line's actually good. They're producing. Davenport didn't play. Yeah, Davenport didn't play last week. And they dominated.
I mean, you go out and you get a free agent acquisition like that. You're hoping to get another edge that actually makes an impact. For him to play 9 games and to be okay with that.
But if he makes an impact in those BS. 9 games, you're good because you have Levi O to come off the edge when he's not playing.
Well, there's more than 9 games in a season, and there's playoffs. So,
I would rather him play 9 games.
Paid like $9 million. You don't. I'd rather him play $1 million per game.
2 games.
Who the hell is Marcus Davenport to get paid $1 million per game? No,
not $1 million per game because he plays in the playoffs in the postseason.
You said 9 good games. That's $1 million per game.
You know what this is?
I'm talking about the postseason too. 3 games in the playoffs. That's 12.
Oh my God! Yeah, like he's just gonna show up three postseason games in a row. He's just gonna show up after fucking being AWOL all season.
I'm saying
there's no way, Booner.
You know what this is? This is Booner coming to the reality of what Marcus Davenport is. He doesn't want to get his hopes up. And you know what? Booner's probably being extreme with 9 games. I'll even give him that. I think it's like 12 games. Let's change it to 12.
Fair, 12. Fair. I'll go 12. That's fine. I'm just my point is
12 is a lot better than 9.
If you have to miss a couple,
Yeah,
3 more games, all right, come on now. If you have to miss, now you're just getting petty with it. If you're going to miss a couple games, I wouldn't mind that happening if that means he's going to play in more games than he usually does throughout his career. Like, that's all it is. Like, he's already, he's not playing in all 17 because in week 2, he already has to sit out. So, like, as long as he's coming in these big games and win these big games that matter, especially the divisional games and the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers and the Bills, as long as you're playing in those games and we're able to win, I'm happy with it. Now, if you want to sit out for a game that we're supposed to just I guess 7-point favorite versus the Bucs, still lost. But, like, if you want to take a little bit of a break, all right, do that. Just make sure you're healthy when we need you.
Yeah, so he's like he's the secret weapon, you know? He's like
he's the X factor. He's the defensive Percy Harvin.
Yeah, he comes out.
Think about what the defensive line just did without him, with Levi O.
I can imagine,
I'm with you. Like, they're okay without Davenport, but I mean, even you'd agree. Like, having Davenport in there makes them better, which goes to your point of just make sure he stays healthy. Because it could be a random Wednesday afternoon in Allen Park. Kind of like what happened with A.J. Brown. Like, he just pulled his hammy. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Marcus Davenport's one of those type of players. At least that's what he's shown throughout his career. Like, his foot, random Thursday afternoon. Foot, 2 weeks. Like, his foot's always been bothering him. We're obviously not hoping for that. That's kind of the fact of the reality lately with Marcus Davenport.
You know what they should? I see Tyler's comment. Tyler said if he wants to smoke a pack of backwoods in front of the Buc-ee's, it is.
Shout out Buc-ee's.
Shout out.
Fellas love Buc-ee's.
That place is a war zone.
It's great. Me and Klotz were just heads down, just anywhere. We were trying to get through that place, trying to find a bathroom. It was unbelievable. Klotz is like, "What can I eat here?" And we're like looking around, and there's just like pulled pork, brisket,
Bucky nuts, in a cowboy hat, cutting it all up too.
Yeah, that place.
Everything was good. Great spot.
It was really
great
good
spot.
That place is too much for me, bro.
I would join that.
We were going to a normal rest stop. I didn't know what a Buc-ee's was. They need to have that place like walls, like departments.
I didn't know how committed people were to like we go outside, there's a statue and there's like, honey, get a picture of me with Bucky.
It's a fucking beaver.
It's like
it's a cult, bro. It's a cult.
Bucky was there.
I'll just be driving down on the expressway and I see Bucky stickers. Like, that place is a cult. I don't care what anybody says.
It's like, oh my God, it's good.
You wouldn't want to be a part of that cult?
No, but it reminds me of like people who ride mountain bikes on the side of the road. Like, they love Buc-ee's. Like, they go to Buc-ee's all the time to get whatever they need.
Yeah,
that's like that genre of individual.
It's literally, what is it, like a chipmunk or what the hell is it?
I don't even know, bro.
We saw Bucky in the flesh. He was there. He was all dressed up like himself. We met Bucky.
Jeez.
Fucking legend.
Yeah, it's bad. There wasn't actually a mascot there. I mean, no, it's bad. It just is. Well, yeah, Bucky's was an experience, man. I mean, we'll probably we gotta document the next experience we go out there. But yeah, you know what, boys, I did see this too, and I wanted to play the clip because it was JJ Watt speaking about the Aidan Hutchinson, his game he had, and JJ just gave him a ton of praise. Obviously, the brother of TJ Watt, who me and Klotzy still believe will win Defensive Player of the Year, so a little ironic there. But JJ Watt giving him a lot of praise. Just wanted to add that in, Boone. Giving him a lot of praise about the player he is, what he can be. And then I see yesterday that Jesse Bates, who he had a good day out there. Had a pick, tackle for loss, think of a pass deflection. He won NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
It's tough.
And Aidan Hutchinson almost broke a franchise record. I think he was like another sack and a half or whatever, a sack from doing it, roughly around that number. And Jesse Bates won NFC Defensive Player of the Week, and all of these Falcons fans are like, well deserved, Jesse Bates. Go, Jesse Bates. and I'm sitting there like, did you guys like not even watch the game? Did you just go on your phone and look at like box scores? You would have seen, oh shit, Aidan Hutchinson had 4.5 sacks. Should have had 5, by the way. Levi Onwuzurike was gifted a half a sack, with all due respect. But I don't get it. I don't and people commenting, and we posted on Crunch Time Sports on our Twitter, and people are commenting, well, Jeff, they didn't win the game. Oh, here we go.
It's
It feels like, Mike, you know about this, man. When I used to go to war about Rookie of the Year for the NBA, I don't give a fuck about wins or losses. The title, the name of the award is NFC Defensive Player of the Week, not NFC Defensive Player of the Week, who also won. I don't see that at the end of the award. All right. So I don't give a shit if he won or not. All right. And I get that's what the NFL's always done. That has to change. If a dude gets 4.5 sacks in a game, he's got to win the award for the week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I think he got snubbed. And quite honestly, I think that was wildly disrespectful that Hutch didn't win that. I think it's wildly disrespectful. I don't give a shit about a winner or loss. I don't
fake
care.
votes.
Listen,
fake votes.
this is at the end of the day, guys, like this is an award for a performance. It has nothing to do with your win or loss record. This man, it wasn't even just Jeff that he almost broke a franchise record. It was one of the best defensive games in NFL history by a defensive edge. Like if you look at sacks at all time in a game, Derek Thomas was 7. You have a handful of guys with 6, like Khalil Mack, Derek Thomas. There's some random names. There's 3 other random names that you probably wouldn't know. 5.5. Chandler Jones with 5, Hassan Reddick 5, Khalil Mack 5, couple other guys, Howie Long 5. And then guess what? Aidan Hutchinson sitting there at 4.5 with Myles Garrett, Justin Houston, Jared Allen, and so on. Like this was like a game in the NFL. Like how often do you see an NFL player go out there and get 4.5 sacks? Like that is a moment like a turning point for a guy's career, like those names that I just listed of dudes that are on a different level, Hall of Fame players that just went out there and dominated on the defensive end. Like that's what a player of the week is. It's who is the most dominant player on the defensive side of the ball. That was Aidan Hutchinson. Like, I don't care. What was it? You said Jesse Bates won it. Like, dude, I don't care if you had the game-winning interception. I don't care how many pass deflections you had. Go out 4.5 sacks. When was the last time you guys saw 4.5 sacks in a game? No one could probably tell you off the top of your head.
It would be
probably
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack. And that was probably a couple. I know that might have been last year, actually.
That's the last one I remember.
But like this doesn't happen. This is like a once a year, every couple of years type of thing. Like if you get 4.5 sacks, which 5 actually, like you said, Jeff, it's unbelievable. It's kind of I'm not going to say this because I don't think it's still true, but maybe because the NFL has turned on the Lions a little bit into a positive, but there has always been that, hey, the NFL's always, they want to make sure the Lions, the money's coming in from the Lions, and the more you keep hating on the Lions, the more people want to spend on them and watch them. And you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? Like, to where the Lions, I don't know if that's how they do it or who votes for it. That's what it feels like a little bit, that they're like, it's just the Lions. We don't need to put 8 up. That's one of the best performances of the season defensively. Like, you probably will not see a 4.5 sack game the rest of the season. You can feel that it was kind of weird that he didn't get it. Shout out to Jesse Bates. Great week. That's Aidan Hutchinson's award. He should mail it to him and gift it to him.
Mail it to him.
Saran wrap.
That is, I mean, like, I don't get it, guys. I mean, if I'm a rookie defensive end and I play for the Panthers and I get fucking 10 sacks in a game, and but my team stinks,
you should win the award.
How does that make any fucking sense?
Didn't dig deep enough. Didn't put it
by all
on the
means,
line.
he was snubbed, but I think it like kind of goes to show like how much primetime games actually like favor into some of these things, especially going down the stretch. Like a person going for MVP balls out in primetime, like he's going to the top, stuff like that. So I don't think by any means there's no way you can put it no way that Aidan Hutchinson shouldn't have won this, but Jesse Bates did have a good game and he was in primetime. Those are the only 2 reasons that I could think maybe more eyes were watching, even though you look obviously at the box score and you see Hutch tore it up, but Lions and Bucks at 1 p.m. compared to a primetime game, Falcons versus Eagles. So
let me see. I want to see.
Jesse Bates didn't have close to a game that Aidan Hutchinson had.
No, not even.
Not even close.
No.
That's why it's so shocking. And maybe you have to win. And if that's an NFL rule, like you have to win the award, that's ridiculous. That shouldn't be a thing at all. It's unbelievable if that's a rule.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I think it's the dumbest thing. If I don't care if he plays for, like I said, for the Panthers, if you get 7 sacks, 8 sacks, you break the record all time. I don't care if you won or lost. And this is something I always say: football is a team game until it doesn't fit your narrative, or they don't feel it. It's like when it matters and when it doesn't. In this instance, it's like, well, you should have won. It's It's like, dude, Aidan played his ass off. He couldn't control what happened. I mean, he did. He tried. And he
literally did everything he could.
He had a forced fumble in that game, too.
The first sack.
It like, what?
Tackle for a loss, I think. Multiple.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the dumbest things. That has to change at some point.
He literally, the Lions, again, they would probably getting blown out if Aidan Hutchinson doesn't have those 4.5 sacks or 5 sacks. Like, there's no way they stay in that game.
It would have been
he doesn't go out there and do that. And it should have been 5 too, because they said Levi got the half of one, and Hutch said that around the locker room. Because what you can do at the end of the game is, I think you can submit, like, if you think you got a sack, you can go submit it, and they'll review it for you. Because all the money, like when you're doing a contract, they look at your stats and your money and they compare it, and that's how you get paid. And everyone in the locker room, Hutch said, was asking Levi or telling Levi, like, you need to give it back to him so he can get a full 5. And I guess he was like, no, bro.
Levi needs to eat, run his dude.
I think it's a contract here for Levi. So he's like, I need every sack I can get. I need everyone I can get. Which is fair. Like, you can't like get mad at Levi. You can always only just be like, hey, bro.
You got to throw him a crumb.
Imagine if he got 5.
You got to give that man a
Hutch
crumb.
is about to get paid a bag this offseason. Yeah, Levi's got to get something.
Yeah, give him something. I mean, I'm with you there. Well, quarterback he'll be trying to guard Kyler Murray. I want to play this clip of.
Are we getting into this now?
Yeah.
No, we're not. Okay.
Yeah, 8:30 almost. I want to play this clip.
The AG thing. Oh my god.
So the doc asked AG.
Tough 24 hours. Shout out to Doc.
Yeah, what are 24 hours for Doc?
Hey, can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
AG, Team Booner. Confirmed.
He asked AG, shout out to the Doc, because Doc stood on business in this clip, though.
Yeah, he was like, at first he stopped, and then he was like, I'm asking you.
Yeah, he stood on business. That's why I think Doc's been like, he's been dialed.
He's been on a roll.
Yeah, so this is the Doc asking Aaron Glenn about using potentially a quarterback spy, and here's AG's response.
From Kyler Murray, is a QB spy potentially in play this week, or are you comfortable?
Why do you guys always ask that?
Well, this week you saw what you saw from Kyler.
Did you see
week.
Buffalo do it? What happened?
So, but I'm wondering, why would you be comfortable?
I'm asking you though, what happened?
I'm asking you, why would you be comfortable then keeping him contained based on what he's been able to do?
We have to do a really good job keeping him contained. That could be quarterback spy, that can be rushing 5, that can be rushing 6. The fact of the matter is you have to keep him contained. And I know that's the in vogue thing that everyone talks about. It's quarterback spy, quarterback spy. I wish you guys would actually look at the film and see what happens when that happens for the most part.
Oh, wow. Doc was like, no, I'm asking you.
that was a wild interaction. That was crazy.
He's like, no, I'm asking you. And the Doc's like, well, I'm asking you. And AG's probably like, oh, shit. Like, this dude's standing on business actually right now. Well,
yeah. I warmed them up a little bit last night so he can go in there with AG and go head to head.
Yeah, it was all
so he had a little sparring match with me that got him ready for today.
Yeah.
He had a double header.
Yeah.
He had a double header. Yeah, well, you know what, guys? I do remember at least watch, because I tune into a lot of these. AG's been asked so many times about a quarterback spy, like, and he has the same answer every single time. No, because it takes someone out of coverage. He says it every time, and that's not even. I love Doc. Like, I get it. Like, it makes sense. Like Kyler Murray's mobility. Like, you'd think, like, do they need a quarterback spy? I don't even think it was Doc. I think AG's just like, oh my god, this quarterback spy.
He knew it was coming.
He's like, dude, we're not using a quarterback spy. He doesn't believe in it. They have to contain that. I will say, guys, my biggest concern for this game, if I'm being real, is Kyler Murray's mobility. Like, that does scare me. That's like the only. I mean, I got Marvin Harrison Jr. special. Yeah, like that's another thing. But it is his mobility. Like, they have a tough task this week. Like, Justin Fields, you know how they always struggle against Justin Fields? He is incredible. But Kyler Murray is even harder to bring down and harder to tackle. Like, they're up against a much tougher mobile quarterback, for sure. Like, you see that clip last week? Who'd they play? The Rams?
Yeah.
And he's just running around. And he just throws
celebrating before dude even catches it.
He like held up the he turned around and celebrated. Ridiculous.
I'll say this though, with Kyler Murray, And I think there's like a difference between Kyler Murray and Justin Fields, at least in my opinion. Like if you look at their yardages, like through their game logs of, when Justin Fields was in Chicago and Kyler Murray in Arizona, I think Kyler Murray's more so a guy that like a quarterback that's just going to keep the play alive instead of actually like he'll go out there and get 50 rushing yards. But like you don't see Kyler Murray rush, like I think maybe a couple times in his career, rush for over 100 rushing yards in a game. Like that's what Justin Fields is like, a running back quarterback, to where he's going out there and getting yardages on you. Like Kyler does it, but I think it's like more so keeping the play alive. And I do think, and I guess I would like to know your guys' opinion, but I do feel like this defensive line compared to last year, the containing of a quarterback, like I think outside, I know Baker broke one loose, but outside of that this year, I haven't felt like this. Like obviously they haven't gone up against a mobile quarterback. Have not felt like they haven't been able to contain at all though. Like I feel like with Hutch and Davenport now on each side and Aleem and DJ in the middle, like that's probably the best you're going to get to contain in the entire NFL. So I feel like those guys will be able to do it. Now if Levi O and if Josh Pascal comes into play and James Houston, how are they going to do it? And they're going to be able to contain him? That's another question. But I do think that the Lions will be able to, and say like you send Derek Barnes as well. Like Derek Barnes will be able to contain. So I don't think that's like it is a worry, but I do have a lot of faith in this defensive line to be able to do that. And I see a little bit to where if AG doesn't want a quarterback spy, because I personally, not as bad as the secondary has been, but that's been a little bit of a weakness with some plays. I would rather have an extra guy back there. Like I'm with AG on that, especially against Kyler Murray. Like he's going to keep the play alive at times, but if you can defend in the secondary and you can get an Aidan Hutchinson and Davenport still putting pressure on him, even if he's scrambling, I think that's a pretty good recipe for success on Sunday. Like that you can still go out there and stop that offense.
Yeah, I think it's a big week just because with Kyler Murray, like you talk about Marcus Davenport, Aidan Hutchinson, all those type of guys, he's going to break loose regardless just because how athletic he is. I think when it comes down to it, it comes down to Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and Brandon Joseph. He's out there as well. It comes down to the safeties because like you just said, Booner, you want to bring more guys in coverage. I'd even throw Meek Robertson in there just because he's going to be in the slot. Those are the guys that once Kyler breaks the pocket, they just have to stay disciplined because what Kyler's going to try to do, like you said, Booner, he's going to try to set it up, make it look like he's about to take off. And 30 yards down the field, there's somebody breaking through the zone. So if those guys can stay disciplined, especially Kirby Joseph, I think this is another week where you could see Kirby Joseph have 2 interceptions. And I know he hasn't done it yet this season, but there's always a game where Kirby just kind of gets hot. If the balance between him and Brian Branch stays where Branch is being physical up front, making sure that Kyler stays honest, making sure that he knows he can't run, make him try to take shots because Kyler's going to take shots down the field. He's not a very conservative quarterback. So there's going to be a lot of plays that can be made, and I think it starts with that safety tandem back there.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it is a big worry. Obviously, Boone, you kind of pointed out that we didn't face a lot of quarterbacks like Kyler Murray and that we did kind of contain well. There was just a few plays last week when Baker Mayfield got out of the pocket. He was able to complete some passes that I already kind of envisioned that the Cardinals will do more with. But one thing that the Lions that's helped Arizona through these first 2 games and helped Kyler Murray is James Conner's gone absolutely crazy both games. So with him being limited, I am curious to see how that offense actually runs. But like you've seen, like I said, Baker Mayfield got out of the pocket and made a few good throws, more than a few good throws last week, and even broke a few runs off, like you did say, Boone. So that's still the biggest worry. That's probably honestly my only worry outside of Marvin Harrison. But if you're getting pressure on Kyler Murray, it's kind of going to take Marvin Harrison out of the equation.
Yeah, you know what? And the thing about him versus Justin Fields, Duke could actually throw the ball. I know actually Justin Fields did have that throw last week that didn't count. It was an absolute
the Pickens.
But, through Justin Fields' career to now facing the Lions, he's never been Kyler Murray can actually throw the ball like accurately too. So that's what's difficult. And I know you said, Boone, you're more confident they can contain him. I'm actually on the opposite side. I think they're going to struggle this week to do it. Not that that's going to matter. Like,
yeah, of course. No,
because I think it's harder said than done. Like
don't tell the people how to feel.
Calm down, Jeff. Calm down.
Calm down. No, I think they're going to struggle this week. I think it's very last time they played the Cardinals was 2 years ago. It was in 2021, I think, and they blew up.
Amani Oruwariye.
Yeah, Amani Oruwariye.
That was a run.
Remember what? Yeah, that was
CV1 loading.
I liked him. I did, Klotz. I did.
I did too.
But he didn't run in that game. but he's going to be able to get loose this game. Now, the thing is, it's going to happen. It's like accepting it's going to happen. He's going to have big runs. He's not going to have like 100+ yards rushing, but he's going to get an annoying 3rd and 7, and we're going to be on the watch party on Sunday like, get him, and he's going to run and get the first down. We're like, oh, damn. But at the end of the day, you can't allow big plays. And if he's running the ball more so than, if he's you'd rather have him running the ball than absolutely just picking apart your secondary. They could still win by 2 scores with him scrambling. Like, I don't think it's the end of the world. I just think they're going to struggle. Like, he is. I'm close to saying, like, I'm trying to think, like, in the league, besides, like, they have Lamar Jackson, of course, like Josh Allen, who's a different style runner, but Kyler Murray is like one of the toughest, like, mobile quarterbacks to, like, stop. Like, he's just, it's like you're just going to have to accept, like, he's going to have some big plays. Like, he might run for 50 yards this game, but you can still win this game. And it's just about what they do in the red zone. And, maybe you force a turnover or two, like Klotz brought up the safeties. That's going to matter. But, like, hey, Kyler Murray's going to get loose with his legs. It's just how it goes. Like, you know how this thing, like, I think Hutch has learned a lot because he tends, like, at least in the last 2 years, to over pursue. Now he's kind of got to play it a little differently where you can't over pursue and then Kyler's going to escape. So I wonder how they adjust from, like, having these moments against running quarterbacks and not looking as great. Hopefully they just shut him down and he only runs for, 20 yards. But it's going to be tough. Like, Baker Mayfield made, all due respect, Rodrigo. I mean, he made that man hit dirt. Like, this is Kyler Murray. Like, it's going to be tough. So we'll see. But I think
I do think, guys, Kyler has the ability to do that. Like, his last 10 games, he's averaging 36 rushing yards a game. Like, you have to remember, he had that knee injury, and he's still very mobile. I just don't think it's one of those, like, Justin Fields. Like, when we play Justin Fields, the man would rush for 120 yards.
No, he's not doing that.
And that's where it's like, I think it's just more so him extending plays. And I think if that's the case, him extending plays, like, there might be 1 or 2 times throughout the game where he does that. I just think a guy like Aidan Hutchinson and DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil and Levi O and Davenport, like, those guys, if he's extending the play, like, he's not going to have as much time as he's had in the weeks past. Like, this is a good defensive line. And as well as if you're sending a linebacker and you're sending Derek Barnes or Rodrigo or even Anzo or Jack Campbell, like, that makes it that much harder for him. So, like, I honestly don't know what his over-under with rushing is. I almost might just say, hey, Jeff, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to take the under on it this week because I feel like AG is going to – and I know this is a different D-line, though, with Terrell Williams. Like, this is a completely different defensive line than the Lions have had in the past. And it is the Lazard just scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
I live bet Lazard touchdown for a boost. There was a boost, and I got, like, plus 500 for him to score a touchdown.
I was literally just about to do it before that.
Unbelievable hit. Although, and when it popped in my head, I was just gonna go Ramondre Stevenson, and it popped in my head like Lazard had 2 touchdowns last week. Give me Lazard. It was like plus 500. Unbelievable hit. But I just think, like, this is like a test to where we haven't seen this new defensive line versus a mobile quarterback. And I think, at least in my mind, maybe it's just me. Again, you guys don't have to listen to my opinion. I'm not saying you have to have the same opinion as me, but I think this might be a little bit of a defensive line to where they can stop mobile quarterbacks, hopefully, and that's part of the evolution of this defense.
I mean,
especially not a Justin Fields. Like, this is a different mobile than Justin Fields. I just want to keep making that very clear.
Yeah, no, I agree with you as far as, like, I don't think he's going to rush for a lot of yards. However, like, to what you were saying, he is going to break, contain, and create plays outside of the pocket more than we'd want to happen, if that makes sense. Like, I agree with you, Aidan Hutchinson, all those guys, dominant fronts. But like you said, when they bring in Derek Barnes, when they bring in Alex Anzalone to help out with the blitz, there's going to be a play or two where Kyler makes one of those guys just look stupid. And it's not because those guys are bad. It's because that's what Kyler Murray does. He's not great at everything, but that's one thing where make a guy miss. Now there's an opportunity to create a play, and I think that's what will happen more so him break off a 50-yard run like Justin Fields does. So I agree with you there, but his mobility will cause problems, I think.
Yeah. Again, I just think it's the extending plays.
Yeah, he will. And that's honestly makes it even tougher. I mean, they face Stafford, who's not mobile at all. He's going to stand in the pocket. Baker, who's a little more mobile, but not like Kyler Murray. So that could be an issue, like extending plays and finding breakdowns in your secondary. Like, I do think that's going to be probably one of the bigger X factors. I know on the opposite side, It's Jared Goff in play action, which I have a video here I want to play for you guys. And it's someone just kind of walking. No, go on.
I just want to say the last thing with that, like that point you made. I think that's the best point out of them all. I think it's just more so like the biggest worry is the secondary breaking down because Kyler Murray's had extra time. Like I think the D line's going to do their job. I just think like Terrion, who's still trying to get into things. Carlton Davis has been decent and he's been good at times, but there's times where you've seen Carlton break down. In coverage, maybe that's the most worries would be in coverage, especially with Marvin Harrison Jr. Like that might be it.
And I actually pulled something up, Boone, since you brought up his rush yards. I didn't get the over-under. But obviously, we know Kyler Murray has not beaten the Lions. He's 0-3. And his highest rushing yards he's had through the 3 games is 29. He had 29, 13, and then -1. So some stats to back up Booner.
And a better defensive line now.
Yep.
Well, I mean, but it's going to be – that's like the big thing.
Jonathan Gannon wasn't on that sideline for him, though.
Oh, yeah. That dude
promised you that much.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. And the last thing you want is to give Kyler Murray time, and he's extending plays. And then you have
did you just get Jonathan Gannon? I mean –
Don't sleep, Boone.
I'm not sleeping. Like though, hey, him and what's his name were great in Philly. It was great. That was why they went to a Super Bowl. Yeah, Dan Campbell. I really don't care. Dan Johnson, AG. Give me my squad. Don't listen. You guys don't have to listen to me though.
What's he set at, Mike?
32.5.
All right, that might be just spot on. He might get like 35. Think that's fine. You win.
Over.
I think he gets in the 30s.
He's never hit that. He's never hit that against the Lions, against worse defenses, Boone.
Hey, all right. So maybe we do take the under. Might add that in the parlay, the lay of the day on Sunday afternoon.
Fair.
Under on quarterback rushing yards. Tough to add that in any Lions parlay. If you get that, Boone, if you add it in there and get it, I will personally. I'm giving you. I know a virtual handshake, but I'll give you a handshake, gentleman shake, because.
I really hope I get that, man. It should be. I've always wanted a handshake from you, bro.
I get it. I'll sign something if you got anything. I'll give you an autograph. I mean, I'll give you the whole whatever you need.
Throw it up on eBay, dude. It's worth a lot.
Throw it up on eBay, dude. But yeah, I would be shocked.
We're gonna start calling you Hollywood again. I don't know why we stopped.
Well, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. So, hey, Hollywood T-shirt. It's on officialctsports.com.
Get your merch.
Coach Walk says you could buy me a pizza.
Yeah.
Well,
raised. Yeah. That spot on the shores, Coach Walk.
Okay.
We'll get some pizza. I found a new spot, so we'll get the new spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Where's the new spot, dude?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's in like Rochester somewhere.
Oh, yeah,
someone had.
So you got a new spot. You don't know where it's at. You don't know the name.
Someone had told me about it.
Do you even have it?
What? No. One of my boys in a fantasy league, he had like showed it and was like, "Hey," and he said Dave Portnoy did a review here recently, and he showed me the slice of pizza.
I was
like, that place looked great. Like the slice looked good, and I was like, I got to try that out sometime. And then I said, "What's the place called?" And I saved it in the message, so I have it.
Interesting.
I don't know why that just became a thing. That was just a good slice of pizza.
Anytime pizza's brought up, Boone, we gotta.
Love some pizza though. Pizza's the best.
Gotta give you shit.
I love pizza. I do. I could use a box. I mean, or two, but
I could send you some Little Caesars if you want. Just let me know.
Oh,
I'll order it. You just go pick it up in the pizza portal.
The Little Caesars.
Not the Marcos.
Yeah, you do me like Little Caesars. All due respect.
It's crazy. As a friend, we do a pizza bet. I'll get you a pizza. You're trying to run me up for the best pizza you can get. I mean, as a friend,
I'm telling you, he's gonna come in with 2 DiGiorno's or 2 Red Baron pizzas.
I was gonna get a decent pizza, but this man wants to get a 5-star pizza here.
Dude, I grew up on Little Caesars, man. It's cheap. You know, family needed dinner.
That's what my family growing up. We had
I'm Little Caesared out, dude. I've had Little Caesars to me now.
You've graduated to Hungry Howie's. I get it.
That is fair.
Hey, that flavor crust, hell of a selling point. I mean, hell.
Jeff.
Every place
I was on FaceTime the other day with Jeff, and he was with his dad, His dad yelled in the background. He said, "We got pizza." He said, "So I wanted to get Jets. All this guy wanted was Hungry Howie's." Hey, Jets is 100 times better than Hungry Howie's.
Committed
Jeff.
game.
You really chose Hungry Howie's over Jets?
Yeah, my dad was like, "Hey, come on over. Let's watch some, watching some of the press conference clips. He's like, we'll get some pizza." He wants Jets. I'm like,
Detroit style. Like, how do you pass?
He was definitely disappointed watching that game with you.
But
Just
the
he told me, hey,
Hungry
he said, "Hey, Booner, next time we get pizza, you come over. We'll get Jets." I said, "All right, pops."
Yeah, straight up threw me right out, dude.
Howie's.
Yeah.
Wild. Yeah. Well, maybe I don't care what it is. Jets, as long as I get my dough, as long as I get my pie, that's all that matters. I don't care where it's from. Besides Little Caesars, tough. You guys know who Warren Sapp is?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Or not Warren. Sorry, Warren Sharp.
Warren Sharp.
I knew who you meant. I knew you weren't actually talking about
How do you
Warren Sapp.
mix up
I knew
Warren
it.
Sapp
Yeah.
with Warren Sharp?
By the way,
That is
very different
Yes,
people.
I know who Warren Sharp is as well. How do you mix that up?
Very
That is
different people.
unbelievable.
Not Warren Sapp. Sorry, Warren Sharp. The actually opposite of Warren Sapp. Like analytic guy,
What?
numbers guy. Like this dude, and I didn't even know he made content. If I'm being real with you, I didn't know that. I'd never even seen. I don't think I've ever seen this dude's face. He dropped a video today, breaking down how the Lions' offense can take advantage of the Cardinals' defense. Like, listen to this guy, Klotz. This guy knows ball. Let's hear from Warren Sharp. Extra emphasis on the sharp. Let's hear it from him. Check him out.
Warren Sapp coming in.
Detroit Lions need to get their passing attack back on track against the Arizona Cardinals, and they can do that if they utilize a little bit more play action. They rank number 6 when using play action, but number 26 when not using play action on the season. And the Cardinals are the number 3 most sensitive defense to play action. They surrender the number 2 most EPA per attempt versus play action. Look at Jared Goff's splits early downs this season when he utilizes play action. He is averaging plus 0.4 EPA per attempt, 52% success, and 10.6 yards per pass attempt. But when he does not use play action, minus 0.29 EPA per attempt, 45% success, 4.6 yards per attempt.
Bro, I don't even know what's going on right now.
He's talking way too fast.
Yeah, bro. Like, this is when you're just doing too much. My
Dude,
God.
I knew you.
He didn't say one thing about handing the ball to David Montgomery.
Yeah, bro,
So
just reading off numbers.
I was just gonna say cut it off after that, but
That is Sam Flannel. I mean, EPA, I don't know what the fuck he was. I will say this, though. Cardinals, what I took from that, not great in play action. Their defense.
Third most sensitive defense. Defense.
I was with them at the beginning. And then the Lions, very good in play action. I didn't even know this. A lot of their snaps last week were out of shotgun, which, like, Jared Goff is, like, not great in shotgun.
Brutal.
Under center. So run the ball. Establish play action, very simple. And boom, Jared Goff this week expected to bounce back. Seems like very simple of an idea. Like Ben Johnson, he doesn't have, just sit there and making some plays. He's like, need more under center. You got to implement more, into the run game, play action. Like, just do it, Ben. Let's just walk out of there on Sunday night and win by 2 touchdowns. It should be that easy. Jared Goff, no turnovers, get a 300-yard game, right? Should be that easy. Just go out there and ball out.
Hey, listen,
Warren Sharp. Warren Sharp was preaching.
You just get back to your bread and butter. That's all it is. You have to get back into your bread and butter with Jared Goff in the offense. Like, establish the run, set up the play action, and find your weapons. And again, like I know a lot of people throughout the week were like, "Oh, Booner, you don't want to force the Sam Laporta and guys just to get them going." Yet, like Ben Johnson said it today, like maybe some guys some weeks aren't going to have targets and they're not going to get as much. But as long as this offense is flowing at a good rate and you're still scoring the ball like you were last year and this thing's rolling, it's going to be a different guy's week each time. And like the Jared Goff stuff to where it was like, guys, like Jared Goff needs to be 100 times better. And they also need to put him in positions to be better. He shouldn't be out of shotgun playing football. He's a play-action quarterback. He is literally one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL when it comes to play action and setting the game up that way. And you go away from that, and that's part of the reason with Ben Johnson, where it's like the play calling and the schemes and everything you're preparing for, You have to put this guy in better positions. And this is where, for me, and again, Jeff, Klotzy, Unk, like this is, for me, I'm not telling you guys how to feel, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys how you should feel. I will stay away from that because emotionally that's too much for some people to be able to hear how you should feel. Some people can't handle it. But Jared Goff's going to get back on track this week. And he's going to get back on track and go. He has had every single season stretches of football where it's tough. And that's just a fact. Like last year, he had times where I think it was the Bears, the Packers, and like the Ravens game.
Three-game stretch.
Where he just struggled. And that's going to happen. It happens with every quarterback. You see it with the greatest quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes right now, I believe, has the lowest, I think they said is the lowest QBR he's ever had through 2 weeks of an NFL season. This is not a crazy thing going on right now with Jared Goff. He just needs to be better. Is he going to be? Yes, he will be. But like the people that are like, Booner, you're not giving him enough. Hey, it's because I know Jared Goff will come out of it and they will fix the mistakes and they will be better. And like to yesterday, to Dak's point, saying that, hey, Booner, no one you pay $80 million should be throwing 50 times. That should never happen. Like Jared Goff, if you, what did he say, Jeff? If you throw 50 times, you should be able to win a game with the $50 million quarterback. Was that it? Did I get that right? Right?
Yes.
Guess what quarterbacks' records are when they throw 50 times in the NFL? 111 and 410 in the entire history of the NFL. Like the lowest. 111 and 410. This isn't just a rocket science thing. Just, you pay him $50 million. He should be able to pay all this money. You should be able to pay him all this money. He should be able to win you a game if you throw 50 times. No. Every quarterback that throws 50 times typically doesn't win football games. The stats tell you that. So Jared Goff will bounce back. It all comes down to, one, getting him back in play action, and two, getting this offense back on track and getting the right play calls at the right times. Ben Johnson took responsibility today and accountability and said that he was part of the reason that this offense wasn't going because of his play calling in the red zone. And because of that, Jared Goff took accountability yesterday and said that he needs to take care of the ball and he can't be so loose with the ball and he needs to not turn the ball over anymore. So like there are situations that, and in the chat too, like ETN, be smarter. Obviously, Mahomes has a little more grace. It's a example of what's going on in the NFL right now, that everyone's not playing great. Be smarter before you comment next time, ETN. Come on now. So like this is a thing where like you can bounce back. Even the best quarterbacks in the NFL struggle at times. So he's going to bounce back. Like and again, we can criticize Goff. I criticized him for his first 2 weeks. He was terrible his first 2 weeks, but that doesn't mean he can't bounce back. He is still your quarterback. And guess what? The guy yesterday that was coming at me for all this Jared Goff stuff, even though I criticized Jared Goff and shout out to Doc, but doesn't watch our show on Monday and Tuesday and doesn't see that I criticized Jared Goff. It's the same guy last year when Jared Goff was struggling that he went on air at Woodward Sports and said, I trust Jared Goff. He's going to bounce back. He's going to be just fine. The stuff that I said, and he came at me for. If we want to play that, we could play that because I have those clips too. So Jared Goff's going to be just fine. And you guys don't have to believe me or you can believe me, but that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to bounce back. The reason we paid him $50 million is because he can bounce back. It's because he can go out there and play football and because he can win games when you put him in the right positions to do so.
Boone, you're absolutely right. He is going to bounce back, and I'm going to give another reason why you're exactly right. Okay, I'm going to read off a couple of names. Zaven Collins, Bilal Nichols, Roy Lopez, Justin Jones, Mac Wilson Sr., Kaiser White, and so far the holy grail of this Arizona Cardinals front seven, Dennis Gardneck, with a whopping 3 sacks last week against the LA Rams. This offensive line, Booner, I know we had this conversation week 1, and you brought up the Rams defensive line. You're like, they're going to create some problems. And I was like, absolutely not. There is no reason they should. They cause some problems. When I look at this front seven for the Arizona Cardinals, they have 7 sacks, so they're tied with the Lions for second most in the NFL. But then you look, all right, played the Bills offensive line, not the best. Josh Allen, mobile quarterback, using create some plays outside, and they contained him pretty well. Then Matthew Stafford and that whole offensive line. They have 4 starting offensive linemen that are out. There is no reason, one, that this run game shouldn't go absolutely wild on this front seven. Jared Goff should have the most time in the pocket that he's had all season long. And then you look at the secondary that's behind him. We talk about Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker. I really like those two as far as the safeties. But I mean, Sean Murphy Bunting, and then you got Starling Thomas out there for him. We all know who Starling Thomas is. Detroit Lions practice squad type of guy. There's no reason this offense should flourish against this Arizona Cardinals defense. It's just a complete mismatch in all three levels of the field. So Jared Goff, I think this would be one of those games where run game gets going, play action gets going, he just starts picking apart this defense. He'll get in rhythm again. So I'm with you. He's going to bounce back this week.
Yeah, it's in his DNA. He plays typically well after losses, and it's not even that. If you look at the opponent he's playing, I think he'll be fine against the Cardinals. Like, there's no reason you should see A, Jared Goff throwing for 50-plus times, or B, him struggling. Like, I don't see that. I see this offense. I said this last week, and it sounds ridiculous, but I'm running it back. They'll score 30. Like, they're going to get – I'm going to keep saying it. They're going to have to get it 1 week. I mean,
they will. I mean, think about if they went 2 for 7 or 3 for 7. If they went 3 for 7 in the red zone last week, they're over 30. Like, it's that easy. It's just like as soon as this offense clicks, as soon as Jared Goff clicks, like the offensive line struggled a little bit. Like, that's just a fact. We saw it. Like the doc said yesterday, Frank Ragnow struggled. As soon as these guys get going, this offense, it's over. That's why, again, it's one of the best offenses in the NFL. When you might think it's funny, I'm saying calm down, but you guys are like, do you guys really actually believe? Like, I'm genuinely asking you guys, do you guys really actually believe this offense is going to do what it's done the last 2 weeks all year? Like, actually.
No, but what I'm saying is the longer it can like, let's say that it would happen against this Arizona Cardinals defense, just for the reasons I brought up. Like, this should be a cakewalk in the park for him for this offense. If it keeps going like on, to your point, like I'm not going to be panicking at week 2, but if we get out of the bye week and it's week 6, 7, this offense still just looks out of sync.
Then we could have that conversation.
Yeah, because the whole point is and especially like with the Booner path, like I think this Detroit Lions team doesn't need the number 1 seed, but it helps them out so much to have Jared Goff at home versus on the road, especially when you look at the front sevens that you're going to be playing in the playoffs. It's going to be pretty much every NFC team is going to have a good front seven, and that's going to put Jared Goff under pressure and make him uncomfortable. I think the best situation for him when he's under pressure, uncomfortable, is to be at home. So I think the number 1 seed, this offense, for it to get going is huge to get that.
That's why what I brought up earlier with the 49ers suffering all those injuries, it helps because I think they would be the team that would be probably I know it's early, but at least for number 1 seed discussion, they're the favorite. I mean, early in the season. So that's why they're suffering injuries.
Like me asking that question, it's not me thinking that's going to happen, but me asking that question, like that's to my point to yesterday about like, all right, like let's slow it down a little bit, slow the horses down a little bit when it comes to this stuff, because you have one of the best offenses in the NFL, and that's your problem right now, like getting your offense going. Something that we've seen for 2 straight. Like if it was something like at the end of last year, like when we went on that 8-2 stretch at the end of 2022, going into 2023, if you started like this, I would be like, okay, was that 8-2 stretch a little bit of a fluke? Like did they actually have that going? Instead, which they did start 1-1 last year, and there were conversations, but the offense was still going like versus the Chiefs. Instead, it's like, no, you've seen 2 years of a sample size from this exact offense and Ben Johnson to where you're able to look at it and be like, hey, the famous words, let's calm down a little bit. Like, this is good. Like, this offense is going to click. This isn't going to be just an every week thing for this offense. So that's where I'm like, I'm not that worried at all. If people want to be worried and you want to freak out about Jared Goff and that's on you. Like, that's on you at the end of the day. You're going to end up looking stupid in 4 or 5 weeks.
And to kind of your point, Booner, like there's been so many times, like there was a thing in Green Bay where Green Bay offensively would start out slow and Aaron Rodgers would come out every year and you tell the media, just calm down. And they'd play it on ESPN all week, and they'd usually play the Bears or somebody like that, which is pretty I know it's a divisional game, but it's pretty comparable to what the Cardinals are right now. A solid team, but they're not anywhere close to what the Packers were. And they go out and they whoop them, and then the whole narrative would go away, and the Packers were again a top offense in the NFL. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, this offense is elite. There's no denying that. I think with Jameson Williams being added in, all the chemistry on the offensive line kind of being a little bit rough, like to Booner's point, it just needs ironed out, and it'll be just right where it was when it left off.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. The offense, I mean, whether they play well or not this week, winning matters the most. It's not about winning in the NFL is hard enough. Yeah, would you like them to win and the offense is just absolutely buzzing? Yeah, but if they don't, is it the end of the world? No. I don't know if you ask me when is the time to like panic. I would probably agree with Klotzy and you Boone, like a couple weeks. If it's still trending like this, then I'm concerned. But there is no reason why. I get defensive head coach, but there's no reason why you shouldn't get this offense back on track against the Cardinals. Like, and that's all due respect. But like, we had them as the number 2 team in the NFL. Some had them 1, and we're like, well, if they don't play well against the Cardinals, like, no, they should be fine. Even though we have the Ravens losing to the Raiders, I think they'll be all right. Well, it's 9:00. You want to get into over-unders?
You guys want to do that?
Yeah, we do it every week before the game. Over-unders, go through different lines. Over, under. I'll put the music on. We can get right into it. So
let's get the music on. By the way, too, I want to tell the people. I'll hold that out. I'll wait.
Wait. I kind of want to know.
No, I can't. I can't tell you.
All right.
We never played the video. But it's past the time now. Yeah. I was ready for it. I gotta pull up these over-unders, guys. I didn't know where. Here we go. All right. Are you guys ready?
Ready, Boone.
Oh, right. Yeah. We'll talk about it after. I'm cool. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, it's all good. It's kind of past the time there. Hey, Jeff, why don't you lock in over there, huh?
Oh, Booner, calm down.
Why don't you lock in over there, Jeff?
Booner, don't tell him how to feel. Don't tell him what to do.
Yeah.
Policing, Booner, you're policing.
Emotionally, we're not allowed to tell other people in this world how they're supposed to feel. So I agree. Yep, sorry about that. That's on me. I'll stick to football. All right, let's do this. We'll start with receiving yards here for the Detroit Lions. I'm going to start with wide receiver number 1, Amon-Ra St. Brown this week. He had a massive week last week, over 100 yards. I think it was like 115. I can't remember the exact amount. His line this week is set at 75.5. What are we taking? Are you guys taking the over or the under for this game?
Hefe, you want to start it?
No, you go. You can go first, Klotzy.
Over. Just for all the reasons we talked about that secondary in the middle of that field, I think Amon-Ra. I don't really know how the Rams did it. I understand how the Buccaneers did it with Lavonte David in that front 7. I just don't see a way, even with Jonathan Gannon as their defensive coordinator, how they take away the middle of the field from the offense this week. I just don't think there's a way. I think Ben Johnson's going to be committed to get Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, and this running game going, get back to their identity, and that involves getting the ball over the middle of the field. It's a huge part of what Amon-Ra St. Brown does. Like I said, outside of Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, maybe Sean Bertie-Muffing, there's nobody on this defense that should be able to contain Amon-Ra St. Brown even a little bit. So I think it's another huge game for him, and he's getting in the end zone for sure, too.
Yeah, I agree with that. Talking about the play-action game, Jared Goff safety blanket, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think by that metric, Amon-Ra continues to do what he's done all last year. He had how many 100-yard games in a row? I think he gets back into that rhythm here. Another 100-yard game or so. 8 to 10 catches, does what Amon-Ra St. Brown does. So over. He's a player that I don't really have to think much about. I'm usually hitting the over, like 90% of the time.
Yeah, it's 75.5 seems a little low. I don't know if getting 100 last year. I feel like he went on that stretch of games last year where he was hitting 100. I feel like 75.5 eventually is going to move up to like 85.
It's I think it has to be.
Yeah, well, the JMO's line, we'll do that next year. JMO, over, under.
Did you say your answer?
I'll take the over. Yeah.
All right, let's get Mike in. Mike, here, Mike.
Yep. Lock in.
5.5.
What was it? Amon-Ra over 75.5 receiving yards this Sunday.
Yeah, I'll go over. I will go over. Did I miss any more, or is that the first one?
No, that was the first one. Next one here. Jamison Williams, receiving line. It is set at 53.5. What do you guys think? Over, under? It's slowly getting higher. It started at 39.5 week 1. I think last week it was around 44, 45. It was in mid 40s, and then now they're up in the 50s here at 53.5 versus the Cardinals. What are you guys going with this? Jamison Williams over, under 53.5.
I want to give a week where JMO goes under. But then I just think about the play that they opened the game with pretty much offensively. It was a 50-yard bomb to JMO. And if they did that against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, I definitely think it can happen against this secondary. So, again, I'm going to hit the JMO over until I see otherwise, just because he's been in rhythm. He's got, week 1, he had 11 targets, and then week 2, he had 9. So I don't think he's going to fall down to 5 targets out of nowhere. I think he's probably going to get 7, 8 targets. And I think out of that, you'll probably get 50 receiving yards as well.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, I'm gonna go under on this one because I think Sam Laporta has a big day. So that's where I'm leaning. Not that it's much under. I think he can get 50 yards. I think he'll probably get one of those big plays. And honestly, one catch, he could get most of it. But I think this is the Sam Laporta week. So I'm going to go under slightly.
See, I'm under the same impression as Jeff. I think it is going to be a Sam Laporta week, but I still think J-Mo hits this. I don't think I still think he doesn't hit it by much. I think he's only going to be like 58 around there, maybe just under 60. But I still think he's going to go over, and I agree with you 100%. This is going to be a breakout week for Sam Laporta to get his red zone targets going, and I think Sam Laporta gets in the end zone too.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna go with J-Mo. Oh, this is tough.
It's not that much, Boone.
It's not. That's like one catch. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go under this week on J-Mo because I do think, and I'll lead this into the next one. I know this is a thing to where they don't pick who's gonna go off. I just think defensively, J-Mo the first 2 weeks has had big plays. I feel like this defense is going to go in a little bit to try and contain J-Mo and not give up that big play that has been the J-Mo big plays. And I think it's going to be more so Sam Laporta is going to be open a little bit more. And that's where Sam Laporta's line, and this is kind of crazy, it's only at 44.5. And I feel like as soon as Sam Laporta has that first big game, it will be like a 70, 80-yard game instantly. And in this game I get that feeling with Sam Laporta that he's going to have a 60 or 70-yard game on Sunday, and he's going to have one of those big games where people literally just after everyone's having these conversations like, why isn't Sam Laporta touching the rock? He's going to have a big week, and he's going to touch the ball a ton today or on Sunday. So I'm going Sam Laporta over 44.5. Where are you guys at with Sam Laporta?
Yeah, I'm going over as well. I agree exactly with what Gentry said. I think that when you look at it, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 100-plus yards. I think that's very realistic. You had Jamison Williams, 60 to 7 yards. Now you're looking at 170, 180 yards. Sam Laporta goes over as well, and you're probably looking at, like you said, Boone, I think somewhere to like 70, 80, maybe it's 60 to 70. That's only about 240 passing yards. It could even be a little bit less. And I think when you look at what this offense is going to try to do, they're going to be able to run the ball, and I think Jared Goff is absolutely going to be capable of putting up over 225 to 250 passing yards. So I think all of these guys are still able to eat.
Booner, you said it was 44.5?
Yep.
Jeff, you just switched up on me. I still think he goes over that too. I don't think it's going to be by much, just like J-Mo. I think he'll probably be just under 50 yards, but like I said, I think Sam Laporta gets in the end zone. I think he'll hit that 44.5 by a couple of yards, maybe that. I think most of the yards is going to come from the ground game and then St. Brown and J-Mo. But, I'll take Laporta's over on that. He's getting in the end zone, too.
Yeah, I mean, give me the over. I don't need to spend much time on it. Dude's going to ball out this week. Even Ben mentioned it. He said it might be Laporta this week. I think it will be.
It feels like it.
Yeah, I think that's how it's trending. A bounce back game for him. He's getting more healthy. And I mean, name me a player who can guard him. And if you want to put Budda Baker on him, well, J-Mo's going to take the top off. So you have to have a balance of like how you use Budda Baker. So I'm going to go over.
Who? Dennis Gardeck. 3 sacks last week. There's Sam linebacker. Watch out for him now.
I looked him up. He looks like a Viking. Like an
all right, next.
Van Ginkel's cousin. But
next one. Rushing here. We're switching over to running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs. Him and David Montgomery are actually extremely close. Their lines are almost identical. Jahmyr Gibbs' rushing line is at 50.5 right now. Over, under. Where are you guys going?
What was it again, Boone? One more time.
50.5. Hey, lock in points. Come on.
Oh, no, I know. I'm trying to make sure. So Jahmyr Gibbs 50.5. Yeah, easily over. He can get that in probably 10 carries, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you nailed that. It's 50.5. Dude, what, five yards per carry, 10 carries? He has it. He can have one run, which is like 25 yards. So, like, yeah, I would say confidently over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over too, but like J-Mo and like Sam Laporta, I don't think he goes over by much, and I think David Montgomery takes the bulk share of the yards on the ground. I think David Montgomery goes for 70 to 80 yards plus, and I think he gets in the end zone as well. But I'll go over on Gibbs, but not by much.
Yeah, guys, I think honestly, I'm gonna probably actually do this in my parlay this week. A little teaser there. I do think though. I think both of these guys go over this week, and I'll give my line here. The line for David Montgomery with that. David Montgomery's only out 53.5, and Gibbs is at 50.5. And I don't know if both games. I know so Gibbs had 40 in week 1 and then 84 last week. And then let me check out David Montgomery. I think had the 90 week 1, and then I think he went under the 50 in week 2. Yeah, he had 35 in week 2. So far they've split it to where they both didn't get it. I do think this is a week you emphasize and you really focus on establishing the run. Like that's what's going to happen on Sunday. Like they're going to get the rock to these guys. You're going to see 15 carries from David Montgomery and 11 or 12 from Jahmyr Gibbs, and they're both going to go out there, and that offensive line's going to like that. Hey, that's some pride there. Like last week, they struggled running the ball. That's pride outside of Gibbs, but like as a whole, there were a lot of times, and Ben Johnson said it in the second half when they were trying to establish the run in the red zone. He was like, we kept trying and we couldn't get it besides a couple. So like, hey, that's pride. You hear your coach say that. It's time to step up and make some plays. I think they're going to both dominate this week. Both of them 50 yards at least. So I take the over on both of them.
I like it. Yeah, I like the D-Mon over. I'm more confident, to be honest, in Gibbs just because of what he can do in one carry. But like I can see D-Mon getting like 14 for 50 this week, and it's like, okay, I don't know. I'll say over, but not by a lot. I think Gibbs will be the one this week that does it again, just because of how elusive he is. I mean, you could just see it, and his ability to get big runs, chunky runs. So I'll go over for both. More confident in Gibbs though.
Yeah, I mean, I think Monty could easily get like 55 to 60 again. I think Monty's going to get in the end zone again. I think it'll just be a typical David Montgomery game. I don't think he's going to get the 90 yards that he got week 1, but I don't think there'll be anything where. Again, I don't see anyone on this defense that can slow down this run game at all. So give pretty much over for everything offensively, because once that run game gets going, it's over for the defenses trying to stop them.
No, I already said Monty's going over that. I think kind of like Lukas alluded to, I think it's going to be a David Montgomery game. I think Jahmyr Gibbs will still get his and will still take a step forward in the passing game. But I think this is a game that we look at kind of like week 1 where David Montgomery is the piece that kind of pushes the Lions over the edge and helps them win this game. So I'll go over for David Montgomery. I think a big game's brewing for him.
All right, last one here. We'll finish it off with this one. Jared Goff, passing yards. Over, under. I just had it and it went away. 266.5. Where are you guys going with that?
I'm gonna go under slightly. Because I think either A, they'll have a lead, so he won't have to throw the ball around the field. Excuse me. Or B, the game plan, I think there'll be heavy run this week, so I think he'll end with like 250. So I'll go under because the focus will be in the run game.
I just think this is a big offensive week. Again, I just said over for everything offensively. I'm going to go over with this as well, because I think if you have the Amon-Ra over, Sam Laporta over, and Jameson Williams over, like I had, and then you got to factor in, okay, Jahmyr Gibbs, Tim Patrick, if Cleve Raymond gets going. So I think Jared Goff does go over as well.
I'm going to go under here. I think it'll be probably under by like maybe 10 to 20 yards. If you did, like you over 75 for St. Brown, over 40 for Sam Laporta, and then 50 for J-Mo, that only brings you to about like $160. So I think he'll be at like maybe 230 range. And I still think the ground game will be more effective. Obviously, like I said, the passing game is going to take a step forward. I think Goff kind of plays a more clean game than he has in these first 2 weeks, kind of stays away from those bad decisions and almost interceptions. But I'm going under here.
Hey, give me the over. 300 yards, 2 tutties. Give me the over. It's a bounce-back game for Jared Goff. And give me the team total over for the Lions, too. I want everything. Go into Arizona. Take their soul away. Take their soul out of there.
So you're with the 400+ yards of offense this week.
Where are you getting? Yeah, 366, 370.
Because you have 40 over.
Wait, time out. They lost last week. How many yards of offense did they have last week?
No, they had 400. I'm saying you're going back to back. You think they'll get 400 this week?
This is supposed to be the best offense in the NFL. They're going to bounce back this week. As soon as they bounce back, they're going to rush for 120 yards, and Jared Goff's going to throw for 275 yards. Like that's the bounce back.
All right.
All right.
Why can't they have another 400-yard week?
I'm
Why
not
are you
saying they can't.
why are
I'm
you
not-
telling me how I should feel?
I'm telling you, you
Calm
confident
down.
of
Tell 'em that.
400 yards.
I'm
That's
just
it.
kidding. If people don't know, that is a joke, by the way. That's an inside joke now. Just new
Yeah, we're
inside
gonna
joke
say
we
it a
have.
lot. We're gonna say it a lot. 400 yards. I like it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I don't see why that's like crazy. I feel like last year, I don't know how many times they did it last year, but I feel like they probably did it a lot last year,
Probably.
especially with the running backs you have.
Yeah, they probably did do it.
All right. Who we got? Who's next?
That was
that
the
it,
last one. Hey,
What about Hutch?
I just did offense today.
All right. No Hutch. Okay.
I don't see a defensive one on there right now.
Usually they
I think
don't.
they'd have it up there for the defensive player of the year.
They don't have it up for the whole game.
Yeah, it's kind of disrespectful. They probably have it up for Watt, to be honest, already.
Yeah, I bet Mike has got a line.
Go check it right now. I dare you to.
Max Crosby's got a
I
line.
dare you.
I don't think they do.
Well, hey, Boone, I'm excited. Today we get to debut your new segment. Huh?
I'm pumped.
You didn't
I'm
know what
pumped.
to say there.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I thought you were going to keep talking.
No, hey, new segment. Booner's own Detroit sports dogs.
Say it with the
Of the
chest. Say it with your chest. Come on.
And this is of the prior week or the upcoming. This is the recap this week. Dogs.
It's this whole week here. This last week, the last 5 or 6 days that we've. Hey, say it with your chest a little bit, Jeff Iafrate. The Detroit sports dogs of the week, baby. I need the boys to say it with the
Fucking
chest.
Booner.
Klotzy, let me hear it.
Detroit dogs.
Dogs.
Yep.
Is that better, baby?
Jeff? Let's hear the host say it.
Detroit sports dogs of the week. And let's see the list.
Let's go, Boone.
Why is Jeff so passive? Oh.
Oh,
I
like it, Boone.
Sports dogs of the week, baby. Hey, I love this list. I was sitting around, and you know what? I'm going to shout out a show here today. Can I shout out a show? Shout out? No? Can I shout out a show?
Hey, shout out.
Go for it, Boone.
The Pat McAfee show. I don't know if they do the top dogs of the week, but I was watching their show today, and they're so electric, and they constantly have different things that they're absolutely dominant and electric at, and it popped in my head that, Booner, you have to do the dogs of the week. You have to do it. You have to do it. We love the dogs. All right, let's start off number 5. I think this is an easy list for this week. Everything just fell right into my lap. Number 5, the Iser plan. Steve Yzerman, unbelievable. That is my first dog of the week is Steve Yzerman. He is putting together and he is building an absolute legendary franchise back up from the bottom up. It is like a phoenix rising from the ashes right now, and Steve Yzerman is at the helm of it. He just re-signed and extended Mo Sider today. I don't know the price off the top of my head. Unc, you probably do, but he also re-signed Lucas Raymond yesterday, the absolute dog. Again, they're absolutely building up this organization back up to where it should be, back up to where they belong. Hockey Town's going to be back this year, just like the Tigers are going on an absolute run, and they're going to end up going to the playoffs. The Red Wings will be in the playoffs this year. The Detroit, listen, I had a statement, and I don't know if I'm going to just get enough credit for this. And things are starting to come into fruition. Last year, on the past show that I was on, we did a prediction segment. I don't remember what month it was. We did a prediction segment, and it was give your bold predictions for the next year in Detroit sports. My bold prediction was within the next season, whether it was the one that just ended, it was really supposed to be for the one upcoming because the Tigers are going in and then the Red Wings coming in, and it was like the Tigers were just starting. This year, the Detroit sports teams will have 3 teams in the playoffs. And at first, I didn't think anything of this throughout the whole summer because the Tigers were so far out of it. But now that the Tigers are sitting right there with the chance to go to the playoffs, this whole thing, my prediction, it is starting to come to fruition because you see the Tigers right now fighting for a wild card spot. You see the Red Wings are making moves. They brought back Patrick Kane. They re-signed their core. They are making moves to go for another, to go on a playoff run here. Not even just a playoff run, a Stanley Cup run, mind you that. And that's a legit thing. In my mind, I think it is. Because I was telling you last year, if they snuck in the playoffs, No one wants to play the Red Wings in the playoffs. I think this year, go win a Stanley Cup. Why not? Huh? Why not? Why not, Jeff? The eyes are playing full effect. Number 4 for my Detroit sports dogs of the week. I'm going Tariq Skubal. Everyone clap it up. Everyone just put a W in the chat. Congratulations on winning the Cy Young. Not official. That man's going to win the Cy Young. He single-handedly, as the best pitcher in baseball, helped the Detroit Tigers get back into the wild card race. And I know this offense has picked it up. Offense looks unbelievable. I could have put the whole Detroit Tigers team on this, but I think Skubal has been one of those guys where he has just been that foundation this year to where it's like you need something to lean on to get a win. So you know Skubal's going to show up. This is what probably one of the best pitchers since Verlander, and I think there's arguments of people saying that he's almost better than the Verlander year that he had. And this man's an absolute dog. So I love Tariq Skubal at number 4. Number 3, I could have maybe flopped these guys and put St. Brown a little lower and given more credit to Skubal and Iserplan. I don't know why I did it this way. I kind of just typed up these 5 names and sent them to Jeff. The only one I wanted at the front was Aidan Hutchinson, and however the rest fell, they fell. But number 3 for my dog of the week is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Listen, this man, and I'm going to tell you what, I respect people who battle it out through injury, who go through stuff and say, I don't care. I'm still going to go play some football. And that's what Amon-Ra St. Brown did this week. He had 119 yards, 11 catches. Man had 18 targets. He didn't get in the end zone, but 11 catches and 119 yards, and he was dealing with cramps. He had a contusion early in the game, and he still went out there and dominated that game, and he kept the Lions in that football game. Like, without Amon-Ra last week, you're probably, again, you're sitting back, and you're like, oh, my gosh, what is going on? So I give him number 3. Really, I probably would give him number 4 or 5. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 3, dog of the week. Number 2, Jeff texted me and said, Booner, why do you have Jack Fox and Sione Vaki together? Like, what is that duo doing together? Guess what? You guys remember a little bit of a fake punt action there? Mm-hmm. Just 2 absolute dogs out there going absolutely nuts. Jack Fox from the 6-yard line, I believe it was, backed up, throws an absolute dot to Sione Vaki and gets a first down. Imagine how do you say it in Spanish? Big nuts. Huevos.
The cojones.
Cojones. Yeah, big cojones.
That sounds
like that's what he has. He's an absolute dog, Jack Fox is. So does Sione Vaki. Just dogs around there. Just walking around as the Dan Campbell, like a wheelbarrow as Dan Campbell walks around like that. Shout out those 2 fellas. And the last one, this has to be number 1. 1-1-1. And in the entire NFL, the biggest dog of the week in the entire NFL is Aidan Hutchinson. Give me Aidan Hutchinson. Number 1, 4.5 sacks. Should have been 5. He is crowned the Booner dog of the week. Aidan Hutchinson, congratulations.
Yeah, I think this is a solid list. I mean, I'm trying to think any
honorable mention. Riley Green,
dogs. Anyway, Riley Green.
By the way, I was supposed to get cojones. I said huevos, which is just eggs in Spanish. I just looked it up.
Hey,
I was like, I swear I've heard that word before, and then I looked it up and it says eggs. That's
all right. You tried.
Yeah, you took a shot. You took a shot. You just missed. It's all good. I'm trying to think of another honorable mention. Remember Riley Green?
Riley Green. I could have done this the whole Detroit Tigers lineup 1 through 9 because they've been so dominant.
It's the Tigers bullpen in general. Could have put Tariq Skubal and then Tigers bullpen /
Yeah.
It's been
honestly,
unreal.
I do think last week if you did this list, Anzo would have definitely been on that list. But
for sure,
he was injured. So I think you hit on everyone, Boone.
Yeah, I'll do it every week. Every Thursday, I'll have it out. I'll have the weeks that we win. No matter what, I'll have this segment on Thursdays. But the weeks we win, I'll hand out the Kool-Aids on Monday. I can't hand out Kool-Aids and be happy if I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on a loss. It doesn't work.
Yeah, you're handing out Kool-Aids in an L. It's tough. Yeah, no, it's tough. I love it, Boone. Great job.
Great job, Boone.
Great job.
Thank you.
I love it. Even though McAfee says dogs, but he doesn't have a segment. This is like you're actually making a segment.
Yeah, I literally at the beginning of the segment, I said I was watching the Pat McAfee. I heard him say dog, and I said, hey, well, I'm gonna do a dog segment, huh? It's out of respect to them.
Huh?
We love them.
Huh?
Shout out Foxy.
Come on now, Boone.
Nah, there's people in the chat, Coach Walk, who I'm gonna have to take his wrench if he keeps hating.
No, it's not allowed, Boone. I'll give it right back.
I'll
don't do that to
wrenches.
Coach Walk. You don't do that.
He's been going at me for no disrespect. We can have civil conversations. Disrespect is not allowed. Hey, I'm just saying, man.
Wow, I'm scared, Boone. That was fucking terrifying what you just said. We can have civil conversations. The disrespect is not allowed.
Booner's guidelines.
Cartier says Booners and narcissists. How many times did Doc say
Doc call you that yesterday?
Oh, like 10 times. Like he just kept calling me. He was texting me narcissist today.
Yeah, Doc was on.
With gold.
Man.
Calls it as he sees it, Boone.
Huh?
Calls it as he sees it.
Yeah, I'll start calling it how I see it.
No, you're not. Hey, Coach, coming at Coach. Coach he's called you out a little bit.
I love Coach Walk. I would never do that.
He had it twisted. It wasn't a segment already for McAfee. You didn't steal a segment. That's all. He
just tries to find anything to hit me. It's just Coach Walk.
Oh, Booner, don't do that.
Coach Walk. Me and Coach Jeff will remember this. Me and Coach Walk had beef on the morning show last year. We did, and then we amended. It's all right.
Oh yeah.
I would never.
No, he
Coach Walk, my guy. No beef.
Boone's just been fucking. But he was been on just throw it.
Don't let him ask AG a question.
Hey, there's no more. You're not throwing me around anymore. I'm standing up.
Oh, I don't know if I liked how that sounded. I get you. I mean, I get you for sure.
Flagrant one on the path.
I get
going the other way.
All right. I mean, it's fair. All right, let's well, we got Raj coming on in a couple of minutes here. So when Raj gets on, we'll talk more about the Detroit Tigers. So I can't wait for that. And we're going to get into the Red Wings as well. I know, Mike, we didn't really get to ask you, while we're waiting for Raj, but Lucas Raymond, Mo Sider signed extensions, bags, 7-8 year deals.
Mm-hmm.
You make of it, Mike. Those Red Wings, hey, you keeping those guys around long term.
Stevie, bye.
I think those two it was inevitable. I think one way or another, those two were coming back to play with each other and, come back to this team. I think those two are kind of a pair. I think Lucas Raymond, Mo Sider, they've grown up with this team. I don't think they would ever separate, especially this early on in this career and the way they finish those seasons. But as far as the contracts goes, I wish Mo would have gotten that extra 8 years, but to keep him under Dylan Larkin, I don't really get that aspect of it. I think when it's all said and done, Mo Sider will probably be the best player on this team. And I think debatably, you could say right now he should be making more than Dylan Larkin, but it is what it is. You locked him down for 7 years, 8.5, and then Lucas, the way he ended last year, you had to give him that money, and he deserves all of it. 8 for 8 for Lucas Raymond. I think he's going to take another step this year and turn into one of the best goal scorers in the league moving forward. So I'm just really happy about the Mo Sider one. I think that should have been done a lot quicker than it boiled down to, but at the end of the day, Stevie kind of, he has his line and he drew it early on and he ended up getting his way. But I still would have preferred the extra year, but I love it. Those two are going to be the future of this team. They, the next 8, and I think they even get extended after that too. I think before Mo finishes that contract, he'll even get extended too. So I love it. And right before training camp. So
yeah,
it started today.
Yeah. Well, so, I don't know, Mike. I'm just throwing this out there. I know we have our battles.
Yes.
Maybe a Pistons player will make the dogs of the week. We'll see how.
Maybe one day.
I doubt it.
Can I get one? Maybe Cade. Come on, maybe.
Molasses Flynn.
If you're lucky.
Maybe
Molasses Flynn. He was a dog at one point.
Just saying, maybe one of those guys make it.
Yeah, Malachi Flynn definitely would have been on there at some point.
Malachi might have been a dog for a week. Maybe a day, actually. But Mike, to be fair, we're waiting on both teams to make the playoffs, technically. I mean,
That is true. That is true.
I mean,
The Red Wings are making the playoffs this year. Like I said a million times last year to end the show.
I heard the same thing.
it's so disrespectful.
Dylan Larkin doesn't miss those games during the playoffs, but it shouldn't even have came down to it. I already said last year it was a disgrace. You should have been able to at least get 2 to 4 points out of that road trip that really killed your playoff run inevitably. But Dylan Larkin doesn't get injured. The team's making the playoffs. The only concern I have for this team moving forward, and you could even say the defense, but I still think with bringing those young guys up, the defense is going to take a step forward. I just have a concern about the goalies, but I still think there's still going to be a move made before the trade deadline to kind of tie that loose end. But they're making the playoffs this year, 100%.
all right.
Boone.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what it comes down to. And Jeff, I love you. Klotz, I love you. But Jeff,
too, thank you.
Hey, Klotzy, the disrespect for the Red Wings, I'm sorry that I have to tell you how to feel, needs to end. Stop comparing the Detroit Red Wings right now with the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are one of the worst organizations in sports franchise in the country, in the world right now. One of the worst all-around franchises right now. And there is no question. And you're like, well, what about this? Maybe the A's, but guess what? The A's are moving to Vegas.
The
you
Panthers?
Can say the Panthers. Give me the Panthers over the Pistons organization. I don't care what Tapper, whatever his name is doing. Dude, what's going on with the Pistons organizations outside of Cade Cunningham is ridiculous, man. Like, and maybe there's some sort of upside now that they changed the front office, but until it shows me anything, the Pistons haven't been to the playoffs, or they've been to the playoffs. They haven't won not even a game in like 16 years. Like 16 years. At least the Panthers went to a Super Bowl within the last 10 years. Like, what are we doing here? It's ridiculous to me at the end of the day. It is absolutely ridiculous. The Red Wings are on their way to the playoffs this year. The Tigers are on their way to the playoffs. And the Pistons, they're just a G League organization until they prove us otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could fight. I don't have a dog in it. I don't have a dog in the fight. I mean, I will say, Boone, I'm no disrespect. I'm just simply stating a fact. That's all.
Yeah, your fact is, you could shove it where the sun don't shine.
Wow. All right, jeez. All right. Well, speaking of teams,
that's on me. Hey, that's on me. I got to be nicer. I got to be.
You're telling me what to do. I mean, I maybe not how to.
Yeah, I got to stop that. That's on me.
Tell me what to do.
I apologize, Doc.
Well, hey, let's bring on our guest, good old Rogelio Castillo.
Here we go.
Detroit Tigers. Does a great job. Go support him. He's our Tigers guy, and he's out in Erie. Hey, report. He said, "Hey, Jeff, I'm out in Erie. I can still join the show." I said, "Rod, you're a fucking dog." So let's bring on Rod. Candidate. Joining us on the road. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Raj.
This man's working.
Yeah. Hey, Raj, how you doing?
Hey, gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Raj.
Hey, Raj,
great.
No, what's up, Boo? Go ahead.
I would say we're doing great. The Tigers are winning winning games, Raj.
This is the first time I've gone to a game in Erie where people do not give a shit about. I mean, they give a shit about Erie here, obviously with the Seawolves. But it's the first time where people are more interested in talking about the Tigers than the Seawolves, this is the third time in a row that they're going to the postseason. But, gentlemen, I know I was on here saying that the Tigers would make the postseason, but fuck, I mean, I feel like there's no excellent. You look at the last couple of weeks as magic, like just pure 100% magic. It's not Javi Baez not in the lineup. It has nothing may have a small part to do with that. There's just a lot of mystical things. You look at Parker Meadows is a big part of that. Winslow Perez with that glove catch yesterday. Spencer Torkelson strikes out with the runners on yesterday. Then he dives and gets a ball. There's just so much mysticism behind this thing going on. And the Twins also, I mean, it helps too. The Twins have the third worst ERA and bullpen ERA in the league right now. And they're just they're choking it away, but it's just, gentlemen, you guys are young and you've probably never witnessed this. I'm a little older than you guys. I never seen anything like this. I've never seen a stretch of baseball where you have AJ Hinch grinning like it's just a shit-eating grin on his face. And that says a lot to me because he's always business. When you go into the press box, where you talk to him after a game, he's always business. But he was just like yesterday, he's like, slapping by, he's like, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Hey, Raj, you've been every time we've had you on, you've talked about AJ Hinch. I know it's somebody that's gotten his share, his fair share of flack and criticism. You've always given him credit. What do you make of the job he's done in this stretch of games? Because the last time we had you on, you gave him a lot of credit for what he's been doing with this lineup. And now we're a half a game out of the playoffs. We'll revisit that take. Where are you at so far with the job that man has done?
I'm convinced that if it wasn't for what's going on in the rest of the American League right now, he'd be manager of the year. You can give Cleveland Stephen Voigt in Cleveland instead of Fenton. I mean, no one expected Cleveland to win the division. I mean, Cleveland's going to win the division. I thought Cleveland would be maybe the postseason, but they haven't dropped off since Terry Francona left, and that. A lot of Steve Voigt is going to probably run away with it, but look at Hinch for a moment here. When he doesn't start Carpenter, why is this start Carpenter? What he knows, he plays percentages. He knows he involves himself with those things. And when you go last night with Will Vest in the ninth, of course, not gonna pitch fully again. That would be 3 nights in a row. But he played the percentages and it worked out to his favor. He's turning chicken shit into chicken salad. If you look at some of the guys like Trey Sweeney who are stepping up, he's taking advantage of the fact that some of these players haven't been seen by teams yet. And I think that's just there's no. I mean, Joey Coro's waving everybody through and everything like that, but you look at the way he's strategized in using Winfield Perez off the bench. And the way he's able to use Andy Baez, the Barry Bonds of left-handed hitting, there's so much even with the way he's done with Tyler Holton, those things alone against teams like the Royals. The Royals are good, but against teams like the Yankees, who are just who had a better team, and they're going out there and they're getting clutch performances from Montero. It's a different guy every night, and I think it's because the guys in the clubhouse trust Hinch because he's been there. I mean, you can make all the jokes you want about him in the Astros and the cheating days and all that bullshit that doesn't really matter now. He's showing how good he is as a manager by pulling the levers right at the right time.
And Raj, I do want to throw this out there because if they do end up making the playoffs, I've seen this a couple times now. People do think the way they've been playing. I know it's been such a crazy whirlwind of a few weeks to where, like you said, you've never seen something like this. It does feel like the way the pitching's been, and now the bat's kind of heating up and them actually scoring runs. It feels like if they make the playoffs, they could make some noise. So if they make this run and they finish this off and get in the postseason and the wild card, do you think, Raj, that they could actually make some noise here in the postseason?
I want to believe that they would because if you look at teams like, for example, the 06 Cardinals, I hate to bring that up as a sore subject around here, but that team on win and loss record was one of the worst teams to ever win a World Series, but they got hot at the right time. You look at when teams have this first round bye, I'm always kind of leery about when teams. I'd rather be a hot team than a team that sits. Like, for example, the Brewers. Brewers are going to sit around the first round bye. That's cool and all, but is that going to help them? That lull. The Tigers should just keep playing and playing and playing. I think that's going to be a benefit. I mean, the American League, as far as you look at a team you look at Houston, you look at the Yankees in the AL East, and I don't know. You also have to watch innings too. You know what I mean? You have to. I don't think the Tigers expected to do this. I mean, you have to watch Skubal. I mean, Skubal is a Cy Young candidate, but at this point, it's okay, how do you rest a guy while staying in contention? But honestly, anything's possible at this point. Logic, and I like to think I'm a very logical, analytical person, but fuck, I have in all my years of baseball, just the amount of things that are going right for once as not only as a Tiger fan, but as a Detroit fan. You guys have seen this firsthand with when the Lions right now. The Lions are handling this new celebrity, if you will. Tigers have never been here. I mean, they're talking of town. They're a national story. So I think they can keep it up. I think they can. I just don't. What I worry about is the steam. Like if they're just going to lose steam, or they're going to lose the. I guess they're going to get tired, or they're going to flame out a little bit. But I don't know, man. You ride that like dice. You roll that dice and just let it ride.
And Raj,
I think a huge part. Oh, my bad, Gentry. You go.
No, you're good. You're good. All right.
I was just kind of going along. Oh my God. what are we doing here?
You guys are actually shaking each other up. Let's figure this one out.
All right, I'll go here, Unc.
What an L.
All right.
Follow
you got it.
All right. Sorry about that, Raj. But I think a huge part, and obviously, of what this run that's been going.
Oh, he just muted himself.
Hopefully into the playoffs, bro. This is a disaster.
Ball don't lie.
This is unbelievable. This is one of those.
You hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, all time just L moment.
Sorry, Aidan.
Oh my.
But obviously, a huge part of this run that the Tigers are having right now is because the bats have come alive. What do you think the chances are that they stay this hot once they make the postseason, most likely, and into the next season? What do you think the chances of that are staying at?
I think for this postseason, I think they're going to stay hot a little bit. I mean, I think Riley Green is going to continue to hit really well. What I worry about is guys like Torkelson. Those guys, I think that there is some level of concern with him and whether he can just get those power or like just get those big hits when he needs to. Trey Sweeney, Chase Young. I mean, those guys were. This is the first time, but they have showed no fear. So I think teams are going to pitch very it's just going to get harder and harder as to get hard as if they get deep into the postseason. But as far as next year goes, you still have to consider. I still think the Tigers still need to address shortstop and third base in the offseason, whether it's giving somebody else to work with Sweeney and you platoon somebody with Baez coming back at some point. I think there's a couple things you can do there, but I think heading into next season, you still have to plan for the future. Torkelson's not a for sure thing either. And, you have to kind of consider that they still need another right-handed power bat. And I think that will help them be more consistent, put them over the edge a little bit, because what worries me a little bit is you have all these left-handed hitters. You need a right-handed hitter with power. And in the playoffs, you have the luxury of just stacking up your rotation or stacking your bullpen up. And that's what worries me a little bit. So,
all right, Raj, it's finally my turn. Let's go. No, I just wanted you to speak on the job that Chris Fedder's done with the bullpen, the pitching staff in general. Obviously, kind of going into the trade deadline and after it, he was kind of thrown to the wolves with what was left, and he's kind of made do with with what he's had. I think he's done very well with what he's had. Just kind of speak on the job that he's done and really transforming this bullpen where. Going into this, you never would have thought they would have even had the chance when you were looking at their pitchers. And here they are, I mean, pitching out of the bullpen and they're locking teams down. So just speak on him.
I think Chris Fedder, Robin Long, and Juan Nieves, the whole entire coaching staff has done a phenomenal job of weaponizing guys. And you look at guys like Ty Madden, who've come up from AAA, and Brent Herter. They've taken – for example, Madden has struggled against lefties, and all of a sudden he's throwing a split finger, which he didn't do in Toledo. You look at the numbers in Toledo, you're like, okay, well, he's got an ERA of 5.5, and it's like, oh, man, this sucks. But it doesn't matter because the way that Fedder, Lung, and Nieves are playing these guys, they're maximizing their pitches to perfection. They're using their best pitches, and they're – look at Kiner Montero. Kiner Montero – and I've been a big fan of his. I've been covering his career now for the last couple of years in the minors, and I wrote a story about him. All the Tigers did with Montero was put instructions in Spanish, and he became a different pitcher. And when he got up here, same thing. You see Fedder in the dugout doing a little dancing with him a little bit, showing him just helping him slow down a little bit. And what those guys have done is able to game plan so efficiently that you have to look at it is something in awe. They could take any pitcher. They gave Jack Flaherty, they added miles per hour on Jack Flaherty. This was the hardest he ever thrown until he came to Detroit. And so you start having that reputation for guys like Shelby Miller, too, who was a free agent sign that they picked up. that helps for next year and beyond because people are going to look at this as like a mecca. They're becoming a mecca of pitching. I mean, it's like, look at Brant Hanafy. Guys, no one, I mean, the casual fans never heard of Brant Hanafy. But since he's come up in the beginning of August, he's been a beast. Why? Because Fetter and those guys have been able to figure out exactly what that's exactly what you're like. Right there is a critical example of that in the bullpen. A guy like Hanafy, who you never heard of, is going out there and you're using him and Will Best in clutch situations, and they're not having to rely on Foley or the usual suspects. Like this bullpen is completely made over from last year. And so Alex Lang was here last year. Where is he at? He's injured right now. But that is, to me, the best part about this team. You take any pitcher that they have, ignore the AAA stats, and just go and just watch him work the magic, watch him cook, whatever you want terminology you want to use for it. Is simply things I've never witnessed it as watching this team.
Hey, Raj, something that I think is interesting, and I actually heard it. I can't remember. I think it might have been. I can't remember who was talking about it. It was on 97.1, and they had interviewed Jason Benetti and a couple of days ago, and Benetti made a comment saying that he just doesn't know, and it was kind of into the offseason on them going and paying money to go bring in new guys. And Benetti made a comment saying, I don't know where you would fit hitters within this lineup if you got guys. And whoever it was on 97.1, I'm drawing a blank, but he had said he was a little upset saying, like, you have to be able to upgrade at positions. What are your thoughts with that with Scott Harris? Like, there are obviously, it's a young team, the Tigers are, and obviously there are some guys that are playing really good baseball right now. But what are your thoughts on them going out and getting guys to upgrade certain positions within the lineup and out in the field? Do you think they should do that still and really look into considering it? Because if you do upgrade some spots, you probably next year you're a lock to go to the playoffs and kind of make a little bit of a push. Where are you at with that, though, with the whole Scott Harrison spending money situation this offseason?
No, Booner, that's a good question because and you've noticed Harris has avoided the question every time Brian Kenny asks him on MLB. We've asked him, he avoids the question like, oh, I'm just thinking about the moment, thinking about the present. And it's kind of like, okay, like I know what he's trying to do. Yeah. I think with the Tigers, the Tigers should upgrade their position because, I mean, the money they have off the books right now, they're, I think, like one of the second lowest or third lowest payroll in baseball right now. Even with the raises in arbitration coming up, it's still getting relatively low. So I think that it's a matter of how they're going to evaluate certain guys, like Hyu Lee right now, who's down here in AA, and the team is really high on him. So are they going to make a trade? Are they going to trade a prospect to upgrade? Because you look at the free agent market, there's a lot of executives that think the Tigers are not going to spend on a guy like Alex Bregman or Juan Soto. So don't think that. But I think what the Tigers are going to do is they're going to spend money, but it's not going to be like the sexy moves everybody likes. I think what's going to happen is they'll spend on a pitcher. Like I brought an idea of bringing up Shane Bieber, who's coming off Tommy John. Maybe, something like that, or Salomere, or the gentleman in Baltimore. I'm butchering his last name right now. Anthony, whatever his name is. I can't say his name correctly, but he's hitting. That would be an ideal signing. But Are they going to do it? I think there's just going to be one or two guys that can really help out this roster. But I think the Tigers are going to be similar to the Cleveland Guardians. They're just going to out on their farm system to make upgrades, and they'll sign a couple guys here and there. But they're not going to be this freewheeling team that there was in the past. And I think those days are over. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't seem to lean that way. Because if you continuously avoid the question like that, and you have made – if other executives are saying this team's not going to spend, or at the trade deadline, you're waiting to the last minute to make trades because you want to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't know. It just doesn't bode well as a big spending team.
Yeah.
And Raj, kind of just a cherry on top of that question too. If they were to go out and sign someone, you would have to assume that it's going to be probably like a shortstop or third baseman, right? And another side note, what needs to happen for down the stretch here for the Tigers to make the playoffs? What needs to go right in your eyes?
They just have to beat just in terms of winning more games than Minnesota. It's that simple. They have to the next 9 games just be better than Minnesota. Minnesota's got Boston after this. Then I believe they have I was seeing this earlier. Now I can't remember who they're facing all of a sudden. But their schedule is a little tougher than the Tigers. So I think for them, that's the side note. The Tigers have to be better than Minnesota. I would like for them, Willie Adames,
Yep.
fantastic shortstop, but the Tigers are not going to sign that much money with Baez on the payroll. If Baez was on the payroll, it would be a different story. But I think what they're going to do is just find a way to plug and play Sweeney with somebody else and go from there. They need a right-handed bat. You can't do all this stuff with lefties all the time. So I think they will address the idea of getting a right-handed bat. It'd be great to get a corner third baseman that can hit for power, because Chase Young is, to me, I think better suited for second base, but where are you going to put him? So
Right.
Yeah, hey, Raj, before you go, can I just get because we know how you felt when you were here originally. All right. The more playoffs were bound. Can you just give me the yes? Can we lock it in, Raj? Can we just give me the yes?
Is it going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, just lock it in, Raj. I mean, just lock
Raj is like me with the Red Wings. You just like us coming down the stretch. You just didn't want to say it. Raj, if you can't say that, who's winning the World Series, or what's your matchup for the World Series?
No, he's not running. He's not running.
I want to hear Raj. I want to hear what Raj has to say.
No, I'm not running from this. Look, I think the Tigers are gonna the way the Tigers are playing right now. There's no stopping them. I mean, it is again for all the bad baseball I've witnessed over the last decade. I've done this for a long time. This is stuff of like holy shit stuff right here. And I think that the Detroit, you end the season with the White Sox, the worst franchise who's just going to get worse. They're going to cut payroll. They're going to cut payroll for a team that's going to lose 120 games. That's pathetic. But, the Tigers have a future here. They got players coming up in Erie and what have you. So I think they're going to make it.
There you go.
Are they going to go to the World Series or anything? I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Come on. Don't. No. They're gonna look. I'll make a bet with you guys. I'll make a bet. I will seriously do this. If the Tigers make it to the World Series, I will dye my hair blonde tips in honor of somebody that you guys don't want to talk about.
Yes, Raj, I love that.
You know what? I will paint I will tan myself a little orange too.
Hey, Raj. Some things that seem like guarantees, I know from experience, they don't work. I mean, I had to shave my head because some shitty Wolverine team couldn't beat TCU. I mean, that's a problem. So hey,
it's wicked. I mean, it's pretty wicked.
It's pretty wicked awesome. If you think about it.
Yeah, wicked awesome.
It is pretty wicked awesome.
Hey,
Raj, you're a fucking legend, dude. I appreciate you.
I want to get his World Series prediction.
Right.
Who's going to be, Raj? Who's facing off and who's winning?
Script, Raj. What's the script?
All right, so the World Series, I'm going to go. Crap. I think it's going to be Phillies. I think it's going to be the Phillies and the Yankees. No. I can't say the Yankees. No. I can't. I'm not going to say the Yankees. I'm going to say Phillies. Phillies and Cleveland.
Oh,
right now.
Wow, those guards.
Hey, Cleveland, stand up, Klotz, Ohio.
I do not like Cleveland sports teams.
I wasn't expecting Cleveland, to be honest.
Oh, Mike was hyping the Padres.
Hey, no, I wanted to hear though. I wanted to hear
Padres. Huh?
Raj knows best.
All right. He does, and that's why we appreciate you. Please check out Raj.
Like I said, wicked awesome. We'll get the hair done.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. And you know what? You just don't turn into a complete psycho douchebag, and then you'll be all right. There
we go.
But hey, Tigers ML Report, MCM Baseball Pod. Check out Raj on all social media platforms as well. Link will be in the description. Raj, we'll talk to you very soon, friend. Appreciate you as always.
You're a legend.
Thanks, Raj.
Appreciate you, Raj.
See you, man.
Legend. Mr. Rogelio joining the boys. Look at that. What a legend, dude. Yeah, absolute legend. Sorry, guys. Can I just say, why is Garrett Wilson, why does he stink? I mean, can we just answer that question?
They're up 14-3.
Can you stop that? He was naked in the end zone. Pause. Antonio Brown exposed in the end zone, and Aaron Rodgers overthrew him.
I mean, I got money on him, so I'm a little more emotional. But
It's not a Garrett Wilson problem. I can promise you that.
So now we're blaming Aaron Rodgers now.
We got half
That's
the
exactly
football
what
left,
I'm
Jeff.
doing. Aaron Rodgers, he's feeding Allen Lazard just fine. But like Garrett Wilson, they were going down on and it wasn't even 2-minute drill. It was like 55 seconds left. Garrett Wilson gets on the out route wide open, and Aaron Rodgers throws it out of bounds. Like Aaron Rodgers, like he's a good quarterback, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. Like he's not that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. Like he's not that anymore.
I was told he needed a quarterback. He got one.
I was told that the Jets were going to be the best team in this division, and you got all three of you.
Allen Lazard.
They're about to be two. They're about to be 2-1, Boone.
Here goes Braylon Allen. Before the game had dropped, he said Garrett Wilson is the best football player he's ever seen.
Braylon Allen?
You're damn right, Braylon Allen. You listen to what that guy says, by the way.
He's talking about Garrett Wilson.
I said he's talking out of his ass.
Guys, he's 20. He's young. You know, he's young. No, I'm kidding.
Drop some mailbag questions too to the people.
Hey, Braylon Allen though. Hey,
he's nice. That looks like a mini Derrick Henry.
That
Jeff's
was my
taking
guy.
the victory lap.
He's gonna have the Derrick Henry path too, because Derrick Henry was like backing up DeMarco Murray when he first got to Tennessee.
Dude,
he's backing
all
up
I had to
right
do
now.
was watch him at Wisconsin, watching him run the ball. I'm like, who is this man?
Run the ball.
And he's 20 years old. That's why he was my favorite running back coming out this year.
What round did he get drafted?
Was
it
like fifth, fourth, fifth? I don't know. Let me see. Where running back should be drafted? Let me see. Let me see. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Actually, let me see. Fourth round pick. Sorry.
Looking like a steal.
Yeah, that's why you draft him. Fourth rounder. Very solid.
And he's only 20 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. 20 years old. That's a bad man. It's a very bad man. All right, let's see. I'm waiting on some questions here. Coach Walk, mailbag. I just saw Tom Kraft on TV and it made me think, who likes oh gosh, Jesus. Why, Coach Walk? Why? Why? And by the way, Coach
dug it up from the dirt.
Hey, Coach Walk did say I was never pissed at you. And Lucas, I was never pissed at you. You're my boys, all of you. See, Coach, it's like we love him. So at sports debates, we've argued with Coach Walk. Yeah. But that man, it's all love. Hey, he's Coach Walk held me accountable a couple times at our prior employer. I mean, he was you remember that, Klotz. Coach was going at me a little bit. But it's all love. It's sports, baby. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Garrett Wilson love. Burning issues. I know you love him, so I love saying shit. Burning issues mailbag. If Hutch gets 20.5 sacks, 1 interception, 3 forced fumbles, and 115 pressures, but the Lions missed the playoffs, does Hutch get Defensive Player of the Year? Or does he get screwed?
Hutch will win Defensive Player of the Year if he gets 20.5 sacks.
Right.
That's a lot.
If
he gets 18, he'll get Defensive Player of the Year. I think that the lucky number, I think, for Hutch to really have an opportunity to win it, I think that number is 17 sacks. That's where I think. So, yeah, I think that would be a pretty fair number. I do think he can get more than that. The fact you have 4.5 in a game sets you up to where if you're healthy for all 17 games, you just need to go out there and get a sack, maybe a half a sack every game, and you're up there. So you'll be you'll have the opportunity to win.
Yeah. Yep.
And 3 forced fumbles through 2 games, he already has 1. There's going to be multiple. He's going to have a couple more than that, I hope.
Jay Hart says mailbag. Booner in the dock was top tier comedy yesterday. Needed that laugh going into work today. See those comments, man. Jay Hart, shout out to you, brother.
Shout out Jay Hart, man.
Those comments are everything. That we had the ability, us and Doc had the ability, and the Doc and Booner going at it to affect your mood in a positive light. That is badass. I love that. But I mean, me and Lucas were crying. I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I saw a clip. I saw a clip of it, and Jeff, every time Doc would say something, was just "Oh!" We're on the same team here.
The Mike Breen bang.
Yeah,
you're supposed to, we're business partners here.
I was gaslighting. I mean,
you were,
because that's comedy. I mean, I was. That
was a great time.
I was just sitting back and enjoying. Pause, but
wrap it up.
Hey, boys,
Yeah.
I got a self-mailbag question, okay? Because this happened during the show. I just did a trade. I'm 1-1 in my fantasy league, okay? I have A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua both hurt, all right? And I traded away A.J. Brown, James Conner, and Trey Benson, so James Conner backup, for Jameer, Roma Dunze, and Tank Dell.
I don't like it. I don't like the Roma Dunze Tank Dell one.
Yeah, neither of those guys are going to be starting. I got J-Mo and Brandon Ayuk.
I guess so. Then with that,
and
you just traded away over his big time receiver for
J-Mo with Jameer now. Both of them, I guess.
You got
Monty. The thing is, listen, boys. Listen, these boys are. I got a game plan this because I got Jaden Reed on my bench too. I got my injuries. I have got absolutely fucked on. So this is what they're all going to go off this week against the Cardinals. I firmly believe that. Like Monty's going to get a touchdown. Jameer's going to go off. J-Mo maybe not, but I'm going to sell him high next week. I'm going to keep Jameer. That'll be my building block. And I think I'm then going to flip Monty and J-Mo around. Flip them around. Pass them around like a Diddy party.
Wow. Yeah, that's a wild.
I had to make something shake.
Yeah, first thought of that is you probably overreacted a little early to all the injuries happen. But if you have a plan for it, the backup plan to flip some of those players around, it may work out.
I got depth, Unc. I got depth.
To be honest, I wouldn't trade James Conner for the life of me right now. I have James Conner.
I need a win this week. He's gonna meet a stone wall.
Dude, A.J. Brown
was the number one running back to end the year last year and picked up right where he's left off.
He's 19 both weeks. Whether he does something or not versus the Lions, he's throughout the season he's going to be a massive piece. Like, I love
so
James
Jahmyr Gibbs though.
So will Gibbs, but I think you didn't even need to give James Conner away.
Here's the thing, like
you could have gave A.J. Brown
when healthy,
whoever
like
else you had.
When my wide receivers are healthy, I'm gonna have Puka, Brandon Ayuk, and Jameer. And,
why'd you trade A.J. Brown
and Jaden Reed?
Why'd you trade A.J. Brown? He was literally just out 1 week.
They said he's going to be out 2 more weeks. He said he's going to be out.
Still, he's going to. It's A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but to be fair, from your perspective, you might be out of the playoffs. You keep losing, so you got to.
Yeah, like I need, like I can't just keep losing.
That's tough.
Let's revisit this next week once you make the other trade, and then we'll diagnose it as a winner.
Hey, I got Puka.
By the way, I just want to throw this out there. My fantasy
and I got Hollywood Brown on IR.
In my big
he's
fantasy
out like
league,
the whole year, so that's
Hey,
I got fucked.
In my big fantasy league, I'm 0-2, and I lost this week. The last play, essentially, of the week with the Drake London touchdown. I was winning, and I literally was at 99%, and they didn't think the Falcons were going to get the ball back. And then as soon as they get the ball back, it started moving back, and then Drake London scores a touchdown, and I lost, and the game's over. It was like it was like literally the last touchdown of the week I lost on, and now I'm 0-2. And that's the one I have a squad where I have Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, James Conner. I think I have who do I have at tight end? Evan Ingram. Like I have an absolute squad, and that happened to me.
Dude, Booner, I had James Cook and Alvin Kamara last week, and I still lost. So
that's tough.
Oh,
yeah. That is tough.
Once my team picks up and Amon-Ra, Tyreek, and Josh Allen all play a good week, it's good. But they've played bad weeks on opposite weeks, so I'm 0-2.
Well, boys, good show today. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone in the chat. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Get
your merch, officialctsports.com. Man, thinking about fantasy makes me mad. Puka's already injured.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Cooking in that first quarter too. 8 points.